So hopefully you guys are doing okay. It's cool if we start. I'm gonna start. All right. So what's up with you guys?
All good. All good.
Is there anybody out there?
I'm out here.
Yes.
I'm just fucking buying time with my UPS driver, and don't worry about it. And just fucking trying to buy some time out. But I want to at least check in with you guys to say I got a lot of shit going on. The group's doing really well. I'm really open up conversations to talk about business and Tier 5 and all the attributes that we have and understand that it's the team. So again, it's going back to basics. But yeah, it's a day-to-day thing, and that's all we got.
So is there anything that you need help with, or some?
Oh, I need plenty of help, but nothing right now. To be honest with you guys, it's just going through some of the trainings, just understanding exactly where I need to put my own stuff into. That's really going to promote us. So that's kind of where I stand. But I made a mention to you earlier, John, that I needed to start from basics, and I think that's going to help everybody. Yeah, I got you. That's going to help everybody. So, I really think when we collaborate, it's going to be like one of those things like, oh, wow, this is where we're supposed to be. Because it's partly exactly what we did already with Tier 5 and JV team. It's just going through that same exact process again. Sorry, guys. I'm fucking closing up shop over here. So it's just the same process over and over again. And people can't forget that it's repetition and patience and, hard work. And we're all doing it. So that's why I love every single one of us.
Well, you're right. You're right there. It is patience, and it is patience and hard work. Pretty much everything in life, especially if you're going to do something for yourself and be successful. Unless you're super fucking lucky. I mean, there is that. There is just being extremely fucking lucky and catching a great break. But it's either that or work hard and work your ass off.
Facts. I got to head back in and try to, go back to my normal job. So just wanted to at least touch base with everybody that's here. And hey, Chris, hey, Jane, hey, Brenny, hey, David, hey, Bella. Wow, we got a bunch of people. Tom, John, Tom again, Tromberman. All right, guys, have a sick weekend and kill the week, and we'll see each other in the group.
You too, Josh. Cool. Are we starting? Want me to go ahead?
Yeah. We started at 1 o'clock like always. So.
All right. Hey, I've been working basically on that link wizard this week. I haven't had a ton of time, but I've been trying to work on that free promo, trying to get it out there, and then also working on my weed bot, trying to get one for both a dispensary and a doctor's office. Trying to use in the dispensary, and that's really the most part what I've been working on. Not a ton this week.
You need any help or things that are in your way? Having any problems or issues?
Yeah, I just try to post into different groups like the Link Wizard. I see other people have success, and then I try to do it, which I think I'm doing the same thing. And I just, I'll get like 1 or 2 people, comment on it. So I just have to keep trying, and I think it's my copy. Just keep tweaking my copy. I don't really know what I'm doing with copy, so I just try to look what other people are doing that have success, and a lot of people are clicking on, and try to rework that. Yeah, I can always use help on copy.
Okay. Well, I can't really help you there with copy, other than to suggest that maybe you don't look at it as copy. So, like what I try to do is find a way that, and that's how I've actually found people, is to find a way that I could actually just help people, just be able to give something, to offer somebody that's actually valuable to them, to. They're like, okay, yeah, this is useful to me, or to impact them in a positive way, right? To message them and actually get known by them before I'm first saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you can find a way for people to be asking you, hey, what do you do? Thanks for helping me, or hey, I'm glad you asked me this or that, and find a natural way for them to be querying you and actually introduce them to stuff.
Okay.
But again, like I said, I can't really help you with your copy, but I'm not any good at that, which is one of the reasons that I like you guys.
So less copy. Don't think of it as copy. Just think of it as just helping them and trying to give them something.
Well, that's one of the best ways to grow your audience, right? That's one of the best ways to actually get people to know you, is by genuinely helping you and getting them where you help them for them, where they're willing to talk about you and say, oh, hey, well, this person's good, or they're willing to actually listen to whatever you're going to say.
Yeah, whenever you're selling product, you're not selling product, you're solving somebody's problem, right? So solve the problem, don't sell them a product.
Definitely try to provide value to people. And again, Jane, I want you to also keep in mind that I want all you guys to promote Tier 5, obviously, and love Tier 5. I don't want any of you guys to actually limit yourself to that. So what you should be doing anyways is naturally resonating people and finding a way to really help people, where they look up to you and they're like, hey, yeah, this person, I'm going to listen to this person because they helped me with this, or they were good at this, or they knew this, or I had this interaction with them, right? And sometimes it could just be going in and I've tried this before, and sometimes it's worked, and sometimes it hasn't worked. But to be honest, one of the ways, like, me and Hector are really close, all right? And we've been really close, and we've had a really good partnership working with each other. One of the ways that I really think that the reason that me and Hector have actually been able to connect with each other and mess with each other is because I followed him, and my approach was to essentially enforce what he was saying, right? Was to essentially to go in and to some extent support him, to go in and be like, yeah, this dude's smart, like, fuck yeah, this is awesome, like, you know what you're talking about, to go in and you all understand that somebody could, if you put yourself in that same situation, if somebody does that for you, if somebody comes and just like naturally be your cheerleader and helps you out and get your content out, how would you look at that person? If somebody's like just randomly tagging you for something, if you see a question like, hey, who could you recommend for this? If you just randomly tag that person and that is like, hey, this guy's good for that, and you're commenting on their content and doing stuff, that's one way to actually attract somebody. And that's one of the things that I did with Hector, to court Hector, was just whenever he was putting out content, and I don't know if that's the reason that we have a relationship or if that's why we work with each other, but that's one of the things that I did, because I'm not a social person. I had to literally, like, if you watch me and if you know me, that I've just emerged out of anywhere in social media. That was one of the tools I did with Hector. So if you go out, obviously, with some approach, and you're just like, hey, I want to put my thing out there that people should get from me or whatever, I'm trying to do this, and then to some extent you have to resonate with those people, and they have to have a reason to really listen to you. So, and that's always going to work if you get value, if you go in and actually genuinely, like, one of the things I did, like, why do I have a review from Mini Jack CEO about my courses? Because I literally just went into that group and I had extra time, and I knew that I could easily sit in there and just do nothing all day but answer people's questions and provide value to them, and just say, oh, this is how you could do this, or let me show you how to do this. And imagine if you're a group member and people are coming into your group, and even imagine you guys, if you're in somebody else's group like you're doing for me, right? You're in somebody else's group and you are to some extent providing value to them and really helping them out, how they're going to look at you in the community, and how they're actually going to be, like, if you have a group, right, and you got a bunch of people in it, and somebody wants to go in and promote themselves and actually get some clients from your group, who are you going to want to do that? Some random ass fucking stranger, or some dude that's always fucking enforcing you, saying, hey, that class is awesome, yeah, I'm in that program, fuck yeah, this shit's good, like the dude that's actually helping out. So you can understand that psychology easily. And that may or may not work with each other. You're going to have with every group owner. You can obviously understand that you could do that for a group owner, and they never listen to you and just be like, okay, I'm still not going to let you promote or anything because I don't like you that much. You're just sweating my balls or whatever. But that's one approach you have, is provide value to people. But anyways, I can't help you with your copy.
Okay. Well, you helped me a lot. I just have been watching you too, because you're new at marketing. So I just like your tactic. You're just going at it, just without, yeah. So I've been watching you too. going live is a big deal too. I got to go live.
The boy's making a mess.
Well, what I do, guys, is I use a Facebook script to target marketers. I have 2 Facebook profiles, and I started with 200 people in my original profile. By using the script, I'm over 1,000 in a month. I started a brand new Facebook profile, again, almost 1,000. All of them are marketers that I find on Facebook. And these are targeted leads basically for tier 5 or whatever we want to promote, right? So along with that, the persona page as well. And Jane, if you look at my profiles, the engagement is really high only because I put fun stuff. It should be like 80% personal and 20% business stuff, giving value, as John said. We all know as marketers, we always give value, otherwise people won't pay attention. You know, good links. I mean, check out my profiles. Grab whatever you want from there. Get some ideas. Only because I learned that technique from something else. But what I do want to say is I'm going to share with you guys. I'll post it, I guess, in the Tier 5 group page, the script, and I'll make a video explaining how to use that. But you can really, you know, boost up your targeted leads using that Facebook script. And I'll offer it, you know, for everyone else. You're welcome.
I was going to say too, this week my persona page, it got taken down somehow by Facebook. I don't know if I had someone phishing in my account, but my persona page is not visible. And I put in a report with Facebook. I don't know that it's going to go anywhere, but it's just hanging out there in limbo. Nobody can see my persona page. I'm going to try to make a new one. I don't know if I can with my same name, but
You definitely can use the same name. You just can't use the same page name URL. But you can also just look in your settings and see if it just needs to be published instead of going.
Yeah, see, I did, and it says that until your page is complete, it's, you know, and I didn't ask it to do anything. So it's almost like someone asked it to merge 2 pages together or something. That's what I think happened. Because I noticed a couple of things. But anyway, I'm struggling with that a little bit, my persona page this week.
Okay.
I think somebody hacked it.
Does anybody else want to report?
Who's
That's what
not?
the first part of our meetings always are, is just essentially a pseudo stand-up. So we do stand-ups all the time in a tech company, talking about, hey, it's just a way of accounting for time and what you're actually doing. Mostly not.
Okay, I'll go up. I'm still working on my website. I made a lot of changes. I'm a perfectionist that way. And I was having issues trying to figure out the technique that I wanted to use for the website. So instead of adding the links to our affiliate pages, I actually took snippet, I guess like screenshots of certain parts of the pages, because I don't want people to go to that link itself. I want them to buy the full package or join the JV team. So that's taken me a little while to figure out how to do. I finally figured out how to do that. So I will be finished with my website today and start blasting it out, because I did post my testimonial video on my 2 profiles, and I have some people waiting for the information, which is a great start. Which is why, again, going back to the engagement and why you want to keep people interested in your pages. So definitely that's my goal. And then I will hit the bot. I want to definitely learn how to build a bot and go on from there. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, John, did you receive my messenger message about the websites for Tier 5? And if you did, what are your thoughts?
I did get your first message that you sent me about your landing page. Yeah. And I like it to the extent that you're obviously out there doing something and making something. I can't really comment on it much other than that. because I don't know how valuable that would be. So I'm not sure if I'm the best person to go in and do that. As far as how it looks, I didn't check it out on mobile, but as far as how it looks, initially it looked pretty good. You're talking about this, right? I'll just put it up here. So
Yeah. Well, no, not that specifically, but about us rebuilding the Tier 5 pages and finishing it, because there's still some of that Latin stuff in there that come with the generic pages.
So that must be this message that you sent me earlier today, and no, I haven't acknowledged this message or actually went in and read this message today. I will. That's what you're talking about, this right here that you sent me earlier today, if I got this message.
Yeah, exactly. That I was offering to do that. If not, one of us can do that, or collectively as a team, whatever you want.
That is the goal, either collectively as a team or one of you guys to do that, correct? So.
Okay.
So I will read that and acknowledge that if it's a saying that, hey, you want to take over actually the landing pages of all the softwares and making sure that they're actually ready to go and they're pretty much ready made for marketers to go in and say, hey, just drive traffic here and they'll convert, then hell yeah, I'm all for that, because it's either you or us collectively or me. I don't really actually want to do it or manage any of it getting done, which is kind of why I created this community funded thing, so that kind of like I can get a paycheck and then you guys can all get a paycheck and the community can get a lot of benefit, and I don't have to do I don't have any responsibility at all, because I try to make that so that since I got money and no responsibility, and I have a community-owned software firm with a bunch of awesome-ass members, I can focus my energy on being able to help you guys create things that will really change the world and take us all financially to fucking cloud levels.
Sounds good.
That's part of what's on my agenda over here at some other screen to talk about after you guys report, if any of you guys are actually interested in that stuff. So that's one of the purposes of the JV team.
Cool.
And I do observe, Bella, maybe you haven't heard that because you haven't watched all the previous meetings, but part of my leadership, like what I do just naturally, is I just first observe people and see who has natural leadership abilities, who can actually do things on their own, because that really tells me a lot about a person and also greatly influences who I want to influence and spend time with, because I can tell where it's going to be the most effective. So.
Awesome.
Anybody else want to report though?
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
John.
Oh, sorry. No, go on, Gal.
Hi, it's Darla. I've been off quite a bit this last week with doctor's appointments and things. Haven't done a whole lot. With anything else, I have decided that I don't like my persona page. Don't know who I want to be when I grow up, so I'm going to change it, and I'll let you know when the change comes in. Thanks, Chris.
So any help you need, Darla? Is anything that you're really struggling with?
No, I'm deciding what that I need the page to look like and a name to call it, but I don't know if you have suggestions for that or if I just need to make up my mind who I
am. Either that or try to kind of make up your mind who you really want to serve and who you really want to. So you must understand the concept of a facade, right? So from what I understand, and again, a disclaimer, I'm not a marketer, I'm a software engineer, but from what I understand about marketing, it's essentially creating a fucking facade. It's essentially painting some picture and creating some fucking story that essentially is to some extent truthful, but it's maybe something else. It's not just the core thing that you need to create. So either figure out yourself, or figure out essentially more or less either what you're super ecstatic to do or what you're willing to do to make some money, and essentially who the people would be that would be paying you, and then create a persona that would essentially naturally resonate those people, right? So if you're selling fishing hooks, right? If you're selling fishing hooks and that's what you decided, hey, all what I'm willing to do, not maybe what I'm most passionate. Either you're most passionate about selling fishing hooks, so you just want to do that, or you're like, I'm willing to sell fishing hooks because I think I can get this amount of money. You're your persona page should probably either just be yourself or try to paint some picture that will naturally resonate with the type of people that would be buying fishing hooks, which is going to be some people that are out there. So maybe you'd have a picture of yourself out there fishing or something, a profile picture of a fish or something, because you're naturally going to resonate with those people whenever you're sharing links about fishing rods and shit like that. So yeah, either figure out who you want to be or what you want people to really give you money for, and who those people are, and what would essentially naturally draw them to just be like, oh, hey, I like this person kind of already, even though I don't know nothing about it. You could really assume to some extent that, hey, if you're trying to attract somebody that is going to essentially purchase your services that are semen samples for horses, you would most likely adapt some type of persona that is a more country persona, right? Because that horse farmer that's out there looking for semen to implant his stud with, or to put in his little horse to have a new stud, is a little country dude. So he's going to naturally be resonating if you're sharing country music or something like that to some extent. So, hey, to figure out who you want to be, everybody got to do that. And honestly, I can't really tell you what that is other than just tell you you're going to have to fucking figure that out, because if you don't figure that out, it's going to be really hard for you to make money. Either it's going to be really hard for you to make money, or it's going to be really hard for you to be happy making money, because you're not ultimately going to be really happy doing what you're doing. So either figure out what you are most passionate about, and then once you figure that out, look at angles on how you can monetize that thing, or just quickly figure out what you're willing to do for money. And then who would be buying that shit and what would resonate with them.
I guess I'm going to have to do both, John, because what I'm passionate about doing, I don't know how to put onto a digital format and make money with it.
Well, you want to figure that out first. First, elaborate out, and maybe we won't do this on a team meeting right now in your report, but first elaborate out what that thing is that you really are most passionate about, and then once we figure that out, we can write some schema to translate that and how you would present that in a digital format.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
You should also maybe think a little bit about who do you think you yourself would most naturally, let's say you know who you are ultimately, Darla. Like everybody knows who they are to some extent. So who do you think it would be, like the type of person that would be your best friend that you know, hey, these people typically like me, and then figure out kind of those people and that level of people, who they are and kind of what they do, and then you can look at little audiences, like little things in which the types of things that they're spending on, and then associate yourself with those things so that you can influence them to purchase these other things. Because if you can target that as well, if you can just try to think of like, hey, if I'm just me, myself, naturally, and don't pay up a facade, what type of people would like me? And then once you figure that out, be like, okay, now try to reverse engineer and be like, okay, well, how can I make money from those people? And then just focus on, hey, resonating with those people. And then as you attract those people, and just be like, oh, by the way, what about that money? That's why I was trying to resonate with you, motherfucker. Go and get your money.
I think you might have just lit the light in the end of my tunnel right there, because I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. But if I look at it from that direction, then I'm not staring at a blank wall like I was. So I needed the new perspective. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, John. This is Nancy. I'd like to say thank you for everything. I'm learning a lot. My persona page it's growing. That's a good thing. What I would like to know is, I think I figured out from this call that we have tier 5 pages. Do we have that? Or do people make them on their own, John?
We don't really have tier 5 pages, really.
Okay.
I mean, obviously we have the software, and there's some pseudo page there with the software itself. There's a couple pages that I've created, or a page that Hector's created, and there's also a couple pages that a couple community members have created on their own to capture leads themselves, either for tier 5 or something else, and then have those leads and then essentially feed them out content either for tier 5 stuff or other stuff. So, but yes, as a collective community, we're trying to actually create those and come together. And I think Bella was suggesting that's part of the role that she would be interested in help taking on, is to make sure that those assets are in place so that we can literally just give them to the promoters. Because what we'll find, because what I'm noticing, what we'll find is most of those people are also going to be lazy, like the actual marketers there. So from what I've understood so far, there's some marketers and there's some affiliate marketers. And the marketers are like the real smart dudes that are coming up with all the designs and the content and shit and the actual strategy. And then they're handing those off to the affiliate marketers, and they're kind of just like, they're doing kind of the same thing, but more so just like sharing this out. They're like more influence people and saying, oh, well, you can come over here and read this story that those marketers have painted out for you. So, we do want to actually provide those. We don't really have those right now. No, we have stuff that you could essentially use. Like there's a tier 5 landing page that you can send somebody to with your affiliate link if you want to, and they may or may not convert because it's not.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, I think I need to figure it out for myself. I need to be an action person. John.
Well, it is really imperative. It is really imperative that
90 days from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now.
Shut up.
Your money.
Sorry. Beth is talking about becoming a millionaire or something like that.
So what is imperative?
I think it's imperative that all you guys really honestly have the ability to either create on your own or source out to a resource your own funnels in your own way, to have little landing pages where essentially through some process of your own, you're collecting traffic and converting that traffic into your own little audience and your own little channel, so that from there, but because honestly, let's say if you get somebody and they're interested in tier 5 and they buy tier 5 stuff and you make some money on them, you have a pretty good indication now that you've got a customer that's paying, and if tier 5 can keep them happy, they're a happy little customer, which means now they're influenced by you. You could, I mean, most definitely probably want to sell them, wait some time, and after a little bit of time, be like, oh yeah, you're still happy, you're still loving that. Well, what about this other thing? It's the next thing I got.
Right.
So yeah, it's encouraging to have your own process to build your own audience, your own chat bot, your own email list.
I have a couple chat bots done. Wasili showed me how to do that. And, I have an email list in Builderall. I lost you. I have an email list in Builderall with 500 people on it. I'm trying to get them to my bots because the bot is better than the emails that I'm sending out.
So you said you lost the email list in Builderall?
No, I have it. I have it. It's got 2,750 people in it. I put an ebook funnel out there and it went viral. It just gets 30 people a day. It's like crazy. But getting them to respond when you email them it ain't happening. So I'm trying to drive them to the bot. I'm emailing them now about the bot to get them into the bot system. I want to sell them tier 5. I want to jointly do Builderall tier 5.
Well, I think that's a good plan. I personally do. I mean, Builderall, we're missing that as a tool, honestly, ourselves, and it's on an agenda unless we partner with somebody that already has those tools already built. But
right. Okay, thanks for your help.
All right, guys, just for short. Well, my week was so far good. I did some research on hair salons here in Switzerland just to look how I can help them with the bot. I just collected a lot of information and stuff, how I can manage and make the, I'm going to say more of automation and just answer for questions people has. Because I saw a lot of people that have only that, those answers that you receive automatically from Facebook. When you click message me, then you have how much does your service cost, or what are your opening times, whatever. That is just a function of Facebook. You can put it in your message. But the most don't use chatbot. So yeah, I'm working on that right now for hair salons. And yeah, that was so far the most I did besides of my LinkedIn profile. I'm working with my webpage as well. And the next will be my persona page as well. Just setting up with the bot and yeah, some content as well. Going live would be good as well. Like Jane said, not so problem for me, but still thinking, okay, what should I talk? What should I tell? But it will come, I'm sure. We have a lot of material, informations, other videos. I mean, from John, Carl's, Hector, whatever. We have a lot of information to share. So yeah, I think that's going good.
So is there anything particular you need help with or that's holding you back?
Yes and no. Well, I think in the next days I will post something on the group, but for the moment I'm fine because I mean it's stuff I have to do it myself. So if I have some problems, I can every time ask. I know. I'm in contact as well with Jane for Facebook ads and stuff. Just chat on. So all good.
Great.
Yeah, and I forgot. I will have in a few minutes a call with the customer, a client, potential client for the website. So we will see. I'm sure he can use it. Maybe a bot as well. So
Okay. That's good. Anybody else want to report?
Yeah, I'll step in. I about a week ago, last Saturday or Sunday, I had a conversation with a craft brewery here in West Virginia. So I'm going to build a sample bot for them, but I think if I can get one done, then I think there's a whole industry there that's going to be interested because they're very tight. So I'll be pursuing that as we go. Aside from that, I'm trying to get through all the trainings that are up online and beginning to put together some funnels. I've been studying what Wasili's been doing and talking to him some, so I'm hoping to get a few funnels up and doing the same thing Nancy's doing with trying to couple Builderall and Tier 5 software together and come up with a good platform. Also, I think just today I came to the realization I'm going to switch my persona over to a specific niche and focus on that a little bit more in the next week or so. That's about all I've got for now.
Well, remember on that persona, so your persona can be totally niched out, all right? So it can be totally niched out, but the way that it should be doing that is where, like the example we gave before, that if you're trying to sell a fishing product, you're not showing pictures of that product and screaming, hey, I'm trying to sell you something.
Right.
Like, you're just painting a picture that they would naturally like be like, hey, this is something I would post to my own page, and this is something myself I would like, and it kind of gets me it gets me going because it's a beer and a picnic table out by the lake with a bonfire.
Right. Yep. The other thing I have to balance a little bit right now is I'm the director of innovation for a university, very conservative environment. I'm not thinking about online marketing. Ultimately, I think I want to push them in that direction, but I have to be careful in balancing the time that I'm spending and what time of day I'm spending it promoting these things. I've done pretty well this week because I took the second half of the week off after the 4th, but time is going to be a constraint for me quite a bit during the 8 to 5 time frame during the day, but I'm getting as much done in the evenings and weekends as I can.
Anything blocking you?
I don't think so. I just need to get through more of the trainings, and the questions will come as I do that.
Okay. Anybody else want to report? Or are you guys good? Charles, Tom,
John?
Kevin.
John, can you explain to us a little bit what you mean by while you're away for the product owners, you're looking for product owners for each of the programs. Can you explain what you mean by that? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah. So that's on the agenda. That's on the agenda. If everybody else is done reporting. So I always have kind of like my own little agenda that you guys can always see by going to Team Info to check out today's what is my agenda. So we are going to talk about that, and I am going to go over that because it's on here.
Okay.
It's on here right here to go with the other agenda on here. Some of it's carried over from last week. So, And we can talk about that right now if everybody else is done reporting. So if there's nobody else that wants to report, then we can talk about that now and go over my agenda. First, the first part of the meeting always belongs to you guys to do an actual report, because that's something that, that's something that me, myself, obviously you could understand. I'm saying that, hey, I do the same thing with my employees. Like, hey, I'm observing you, I'm watching you, I'm putting you through a process and just watching your natural tendencies of what you're able to do and what you are going to do to decide, like, who I should invest my time with and who could be essentially a product owner or a tier 5 partner or something and really mesh with me. And I know what I can do by myself. So I know if I find some other like-minded people and we're going to like put our little brains together, we'll get there a lot faster. So the report is just kind of meant to, in a tech environment, you always do reports with clients about projects and stuff. And that's something a project owner would be doing as well, because even in a product owner role, in a typical product owner role, you're going to have a pool of people that are actually giving you money. And then you also have like a pool of users and stuff that you're also giving reports to and you're talking to and you're explaining stuff to them and you're getting feature requests from them and you're talking to these other people who are paying money and stuff. And then you're talking to this group of engineers and developers that are actually developing a product. So if there's anybody else that wants to actually do their report, because the first part of the meeting is for you guys to report, then we'll do that. If not, was that Lassie's report? Thanks, Lassie. So I'm assuming no on the. I'm assuming no. I'll just make the no assumption on reports that everybody's done reporting. So essentially kind of what was on my agenda is, yes, I'm going on vacation. I've got a vacation put somewhere, and that should probably, that should have probably went like after this report right there. So I'm going on vacation. I'm essentially going to leave on the 10th and fly to the United States, and I'm probably not going to be off vacation until August the 1st back in India. So during my vacation, one of my points, I'm going to fly to the US, and then my final destination is Amsterdam before I come back to India. So while I'm in the US, if there's any concerned person that think it would be actually valuable to meet and hang out and would want to do that as part of like a social proof experiment, then I can make arrangements to essentially fly where you're at and stay in some nearby hotel for a day or something and meet up and hang out and have some food or something. Because I don't really have any real agenda other than I have to leave India and do a couple things. So, so I am going to be on vacation. For that, I kind of want some temporary leaders, but I kind of arranged that already with my wife and my production manager that they could in my stay be holding the JV team meetings because I may not be available for them. Because I'm going to be on vacation. So I will most likely be available. On them. But again, I'm going to be on vacation. So that I kind of have guest speakers. We do have our first guest speaker that's actually going to come. This is something that I did whenever I did bot trainings as well. And this is something you can understand that in your guys' endeavor would really help you if you guys have audiences and you can go find other influence people and tell them like, hey, I've got this audience, come hang out and talk and stuff and have guest speakers and present those guest speakers. It's something like Brittany does all the time. It's a really easy way for you guys to actually catch some traction and the audience that your guest speaker has, because your guest speaker is going to draw its own little audience that they're going to promote to. You're going to promote to your little audience and you can piggyback off of them. So I did it on bot training. We got our first one that's going to come, and I can't remember when it is. I think I got to look it up. I think it's August the 4th. Or the 3rd. Yeah, I think it's the 3rd of August. And that's going to come in. So I would like to actually have more of those guest speakers that essentially what they would be is they could come in for JV team meetings, and we could have special meetings where they would come in. We had one already, you remember, Leonard did one kind of for us, more meetings like that where we could learn more from other people. They could just come in and share their information. Hopefully it would be valuable information. So if anybody wants to actually help arrange those, then I'm open to suggestions there. This I kind of wanted to get input on as well. And input, I mean, you guys are here, you guys have time. And also anybody that watches this replay, you guys can, query me information if you want to get info on this. But this is something that I was thinking about. This girl, I've okayed it with this girl, which is my wife. It's something that I've actually been thinking about and want to do, and I'm thinking about actually implementing. So I'd like to get some real, like, from my team. You guys obviously right now are the people that are giving me the most amount of money. So I'm hoping to continue to grow that, and I'm really looking on your guys' transparent and honest opinion on stuff to help me make decisions that I may not always be good at. So I wanted to essentially maybe introduce this as another perk for your membership, which would essentially be, we would take part of somebody's membership fee and we would do something nice. We would either sponsor a child or have a positive change thing. Like, one of the things we talked about is maybe just having like so one of the scenarios me and my wife talked about was having, like, just taking some money, like let's say the first membership fee, which is $100 or $197 or whatever, and we go buy a little barrel, like a little trash can, and we paint it with nice little positive things, and we go put it somewhere over here because there's a garbage problem over here where people just throw their garbage over the streets and it gets fucking dirty as shit. And then we just put that little trash barrel there, and we get a little poor kid, and we promise to buy him stuff and give him a little salary if he goes around and tells the people throwing garbage not to throw it, and then gets it and puts it inside the trash can to inspire a positive change for people to say, hey, even this little poor kid that doesn't know anything and is uneducated knows that we should be throwing garbage in the trash can, right? Now, for some perspective, we could use this to have another layer. Now you can see we can get another audience that, even if they're not completely for the software and don't want to use the software, they can see that the membership fee that they pay, they also are attached to this positive change, so they can inspire some positive change. And then I think it will also really, like, if I had for each one of you guys like a little kid, honestly, that I could say, hey, you guys are changing this guy's life, or a little documentation and show you guys, hey, your membership is also doing this good, it would be more sticky, right? So that's something I'm wanting to think about and implement and try to actually plan if it seems like a good idea. My wife really likes it. I really like it. This additional commission is actually something else I wanted to talk about. Reviews, you guys actually all owe me reviews. A lot of you guys have given them to me already. By reviews, what I mean by you guys owe me, you guys don't technically actually owe me anything other than $97 a month or your membership fees. And you guys actually technically don't owe me that. You have to give it to me if you want a certain thing from me, but you don't owe it to me. It's a transaction that we have. So all you guys, I have your reviews already. If you're not on here, I don't have a review. Some of you guys, I might ask you to remake these. But this really helps your reviews here, and also your reviews on the individual softwares and pages. That really helps. Also, reviews on each other's pages also helps. If you guys go in and actually review each other's pages, especially your persona pages, that really helps for anybody. One of the things that you guys have to be conscious though about is that, hey, I want to do this, but it also needs to make sense. Like right now, if everybody goes in on my page and reviews me right now, that's not going to look good. If it goes in and you see 15 reviews all on the same day. So those are things that you guys should be thinking about. Look at, can I help this person? Would it strategically help them? Well, let me look at their profile. Could it use a review? When's the last time they got one? And what did they say? What hasn't somebody else said about this person? Because you're really hoping, if you leave a review for somebody, it's kind of it's not pointless, but if you think from anybody's perspective, even think from your own perspective. If somebody comes a review and leaves a review for you, and it's a 5-star review, and they're like, this dude's awesome, versus somebody comes in and leaves a review for you that's actually 2 paragraphs that say some really key shit, which one do you find more valuable? Who are you going to be more out to help whenever they say, hey, can you help me out? You're going to be like, fuck yeah, I can help you out. Like, I got 7 clients because of you. Yeah, what do you want? What do you want? So anyways, where you guys kind of owe that. So I am trying to kick you guys off because it's part of your requirements to be on the JV team, because it's a requirement with the JV team. I need them. You guys that have provided them, thank you very much. Product owners, I'm going to talk about that as well. So that was on the agenda. These things also on the agenda. I can't remember what these are, honestly. And that is where I'm thinking this is where the actual commission goes, okay? I think this is where the actual commission goes right here. I'm not sure. So things that we talked about so far. The first one I'll go over is product owners. Essentially what I'm looking for on a high level, I told this already before, and I'm pretty sure that it's recorded. I'm pretty sure that it's recorded at the very beginning of this meeting right here with me and Christopher. All right. So what I'm essentially wanting to do, my end goal, is to completely autonomize Tier 5's function and all that it does without me needed for any operation, so that I can still be involved, but I have zero responsibility and essentially a free roam for my genius to be able to perform very high level functions that will benefit everybody. All right. So right now, the transition that, like right now, what I do is I manage all the client projects and make sure the clients are really happy for the most part to give us money. And I'm building out this community to actually go in and sell our software products so we can transition our revenue stream where it's those softwares and their income that are actually paying our bills. All right. So those softwares themselves need a product owner. They need somebody to essentially own that product, make sure that that actual product it looks nice, looks a way that a user will want to use it, functions properly, has the right marketing and words there, and an actual marketing plan, is listening to the actual users and making sure, according to the users, they're all happy, looking at competitors to know how to actually price it. He needs a liaison. That product essentially needs a liaison to own that product and make sure that the revenue stream that needs to come in from that product is essentially successful. All right. So you can do a Google search on Google for a product owner, and you'll find several definitions of what it means to be a product owner according to a developer's. So I just Googled product owner, all right, and you can see I got the Agile Product Owners Rule. What is a product owner? Which this is a good one because it's from Scrum.org. And it will tell you, and essentially it is a project's key stakeholder. So this is the person that's essentially responsible for in a development term, the development of a product, all right? What I'm wanting to do is add on to that function where you would be the typical like Scrum Agile product owner, where it's your job to make sure that the product is successfully developed and you're interfacing with the engineering team to say, hey, here's the high level concepts of what we want to do. We want to build this feature. We're going to release this one out and then this one because this is what our audience and community is doing, all right? That is the standard product owner function. We want you to take on that, and I also want you to take on the other higher level business decisions, which are either doing them yourselves or managing them getting done, which is the marketing and making sure that that product has everything it needs to hand over to the affiliate network and get it sold and makes the money. That would go all the way down to the website design, the content, competitor research, price points, making sure that feature wise we just smash everybody else out there. That's the type of stuff that the product owner is going to be doing. To querying the community, listening to the community. Hey, what things do you guys want? What can we build to help you? Stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely want to find people like that can go in and take ownership of that product. And basically, I can rest assured and I can trust that because that person is the product owner, that product's going to be successful and it's going to make money and stuff. And these dudes are going to be developing it. I can help to some extent, but I don't want to have the actual responsibility in the role. I want it to be delegated to a product owner. So. It's still conceptual, and I'm trying to figure out how to actually how to put it together because it's going to be a time. I mean, obviously, the product owner is going to have to look at it as a job. Like that is his responsibility or her responsibility or its responsibility to fulfill that job and own that product and make sure that it's successful and out there making money. So I'm not sure how to structure it. What I've thought so far is essentially I would part of what's on this board over here is an explanation of all the different monetary ways that I'm willing. I just mentioned this to somebody, the different ways that I'm willing to accept money. So on this other board over here, I mapped out the services. Like I'm in an ideal scenario, I'm willing to accept money in exchange for selling an engineer's time, software services to somebody else if it falls into a certain slot, all right? And I'm also willing to accept money for these things over here, like a software user to pay to use the software, a community member. And another one of these tiers is a tier 5 investor, where essentially that's the only way so far I've really been able to figure out how I could fully monetize and the thing be successful, because I could have a product owner come in and the product owner say, hey, I'm going to give all my time. I'm going to give all my time to this in exchange for a back pay, because that's how I would monetize it. All right. So that those products themselves are going to get sold. Those softwares are essentially going to get sold, and the affiliate networks are going to get a percentage of it, and then tier 5 is going to get a percentage of it. And we would take that tier 5 percentage and we would divvy up that. We would take a portion of that tier 5 percentage And we could essentially give that to the product owner, but that means that the product owner has to have time and also has to have money to be able to make sure that he's serious about that thing and puts in the time to make that product successful, or it's not going to be successful because the product owner isn't taking it seriously or just doesn't have the time to go in and actually do all the stuff that they need to do to be, essentially it's a founding role almost, to make sure a product gets out there and is successful for all those pieces. The development, the marketing, the promotion with the affiliates, all that is what the product owner is going to be in charge of, all right? So we could give them, product owners, some money on the backside of stuff on the success of that product, but then they still have to take the time and they don't have a financial incentive until it's actually launched out there. Or the other scenario is I could introduce like a tier 5 investor object, and that tier 5 investor, let's say we get 3 tier 5 investors that have, let's say, $500 a month and they want to invest in text and bulk. So we can take that $1,500 a month, we can pay that to the product owner to make sure that they're taking this serious as a job and they're actually accountable and out there doing every single thing that needs to do, and also allocate the product owner a smaller amount of the percentage of tier 5's percentage of the sales for that product, because now we also have to allocate a much larger portion to the tier 5 investors on that product. So I still have to figure out the details of it, but essentially one of the things that I want is product owners where you guys are the go-to people that know everything about the product and are in charge of its further development. You're in charge of making sure it's got a good design, it's got good marketing, it's got good affiliates promoting it, that the users are happy, that it has, a future roadmap that's scheduled and planned to actually be released, and that's getting developed and tested and all that good stuff instead of me. So I'm going to outsource that.
What does the management layer look like on the back end of tier 5? Are you going to have project managers effectively that are working on the development side that are going to actually be, where the rubber meets the road, actually keeping an eye on who's doing what, making sure that that each individual developer is achieving goals?
Yeah, there will be a management layer on tier 5 side where the product owner will interact with. Yes, so the product owner will be interacting with directly outside of me. There won't be me necessarily. I mean, I will be there obviously, and I'm a support person, but the product owner has a channel to communicate directly with the whole team of engineers. And essentially, let's say tier 5's product owner in a true Scrum sense and Agile sense.
Yeah, but so what that would mean for us though is that we would really have a single point of contact on the tier 5 side to say, okay, we're gonna, I'm gonna be working with ideally one person on the other end, and it's gonna be their job to make sure that the work actually gets done, right? And then, and then on our side, we're gonna be guiding, okay, what features do we want to do, kind of holding them accountable. Here's our feature roadmap. Here's our deadlines. How are we gonna meet these deadlines? That's gonna be on us, right?
To some extent, yes. There, you can have access. Let's say you're a RoboContact text and bulk owner, right? You're the product owner for RoboContact, and we got 6 investors for RoboContact, and because of that, we have 3 engineers on RoboContact. You can have access to just a single point of contact, the management that's in charge of those resources that are going to actually be doing that. But you're also going to have those guys included if you want to have like group chats or something. But yes, you can have down to a single point of contact if you want. And just know that, hey, here's the plan, here's your workflow, and we have a process for all the workflow, scheduling tasks, and everything. And you just provide that to your point of contact here. And yes, they're in charge of all the development.
No, that's cool. And as long as there's a management structure laid out, and and everybody kind of knows who's in charge on the development side, and then we have access to all of those people on that side, I think that'll work great. Like I mentioned before, I'll be happy to do this on the RoboContact side. This is something that, this is not unlike what we do on our side. My firm is similar to Tier 5. We do pretty much data and analytics work. We do all of this stuff all day long with our customers. And so, bringing out another product into the mix is not going to be a big deal. So yeah.
Yeah, you'd have a management layer that essentially includes it includes, so your structure would include a project manager and essentially a lead, a team lead. Yep. You're going to be an actual team lead or just a lead developer. Yeah. Done one dev on the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the structure will work out well, and then it's going to kind of be on us to help facilitate introduction of new features, figure out what features we want to put in, how we're going to put them in, and that sort of stuff. I think it's going to be a pretty good model.
Yeah, well, I think you would fulfill it very, very well. I think you'd be able to do it because you already know what a product owner is, and you're already doing this software stuff, so you're familiar with what's going on. It is a little bit higher level as well, though, where I'm expecting that not only are you managing the actual dev and the planning of getting the software developed and making sure that it actually gets developed, or at least being able to identify and lay out the features where somebody else can then go in and actually plan the execution and development of it, but at least, itemize the high level roadmap and stuff like that. You would also be doing all the other things that a product owner doesn't do in business, which is making sure that the marketing and the design and all that good shit's on par. Because I don't think
And then I guess one of the other questions that I have about it, just in general, on the design front, knowing that's kind of a deficiency with UI UX. Are you doing anything on your end to currently bring in UX designers? What's going to be the plan?
So the plan would essentially be to hopefully community source. Honestly, my plan right now for it is community source it, is to hopefully through the community find a means to actually make the UX good enough and the UI good enough. The problem that I have, the problem essentially that I have with bringing in the UI people is because honestly, I'm not even myself super qualified to qualify that person and vet that person and really hire that person. And vet whether I'm going to get it, if they're actually going to be a person that can do the UX and the UI, because ultimately it's all just design. So partnering, I think finding somebody in the community, networking in the community, find somebody in the community, or partnering with a design and a product owner, being able to identify like, hey, these would be good candidates to get the design done, and here's more or less what the cost is going to be, and maybe here's a plan on how we could actually source this cost to absorb this cost. Either it's going to have to be like, hey, John, you pay this, or Tier 5 pays this, or somebody pays this, but we have to have it. So that would be something that the product owner would have to suggest right now, because we don't have the design capabilities. Yeah. What we need is a file. We do have the front end stuff, but.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense, and especially kind of as we talked about before, there's probably not. It probably doesn't make sense to integrate every single product under the Tier 5 stack, but for the ones that do make sense to integrate, like for example, RoboConduct and Text in Bulk are kind of like peanut butter and jelly, right? And if we're going to do some kind of a UI UX design, we would need that's kind of done in a uniform way, because we can go out there and basically package, and maybe even create a new brand. Who knows how that's going to end up being? But basically create, a uniform look and feel between software products that work together well, right? Or that fit together well. So from a user's point of view, it's not going to be like they're really different products. So that's probably one of the things that we just kind of need to keep an eye out for going forward, is as we're thinking about doing UI and UX, what kind of standards that we might want to apply between products, where it makes sense to say, okay, we really want these things to look alike or to act alike.
Right. I think you would be a good role for a product owner. I still need to hash it out. I'd like to be able to all hash it out together, because from my perspective, the product owner, to some extent, we can, on the backside, I can pay him on the backside, but either he needs to be financially secure himself, which means he needs to be able to pay money because he's got that financial security, which means he has the time to go in and do that and is more apt to be successful, or it needs to be a paid role. It needs to be the dude that can do it, and he could have the time if we were actually paying it for it. So I'm not sure how to structure it 100% where the guy that's a product owner that doesn't have anything the guy that's a product owner that doesn't have any financial incentive outside of the back end coming from the actual individual sales of the softwares, and that actual percentage is, until it's actually making him something, that he's going to be financially, that he's going to be able to be motivated enough to actually take that serious as a job and really fulfill it and function.
Right.
And for us as a community to say, yeah, we really want to rely on that person, because if we rely on the wrong people and they don't actually do the role properly, then it's really hindering us, and it's taking a lot of opportune revenue out of our hands if we pick the wrong ones. So I still don't know essentially how to structure it, but it is something that I want to do.
Another question on that note, with the investors, do we have any investors lined up right now?
Not really. So I've never got any outside investment or any working capital whatsoever, or any help from friends. I've had to get all my money from fishing. So the reason why I asked the question is because you're throwing up the number and say, okay, well, what if we have investors that are giving us $500 a month to help with development or whatever? The question is going to be, can you get those people, number one, and then I guess number two, what are those people ultimately going to get to be on the team? Are you kind of looking at having them actually be some kind of an angel investor that would actually, do some kind of funds disbursement to Tier 5 and say, I'm going to take a stake in this product, or I'm going to take a stake in Tier 5 in general, and here's what I'm going to give you for it? Not in Tier 5 in general, and in the product itself. I wouldn't want to have an angel investor unless now if somebody came to me and said, hey, John, I got $100 million, I want to invest in your company, then I'd be like, yeah, I'll take on a Tier 5 investor. But outside of that, then I would just want only investors in those products themselves, where let's say that investor could come in and he could actually invest, and yes, it would be like a typical investment where he's going to put the money in. We're gonna go in. Now we can use that to fund the product owner and do all the stuff that actually really needs to get done, and then he's gonna get some stake in that. Will most likely there'll be terms for him to actually be paid back his investment, and then have some shares of the percentage of the revenue coming in from that product, split with Tier 5, split with the product owner and the affiliate network.
So obviously the reason why I asked the question is because we're talking about how the structure is going to ultimately work. I mean, if you're going to go out and seek effectively angel or venture capital investment, the runway for getting that is going to be probably a little longer than what we're anticipating. If you go out there today and start making calls and you get somebody to pretty quickly, get a yes out of them, it might be 4 to 6 months before you actually have the money, right? Sure. And so knowing that, that's going to be one of those things that we have to think about as a group, as we're talking about how the product owners are getting compensated, and that if you don't already have the stuff lined up, it's gonna be a while, right, before anybody's going to get paid via an outside investor. That's just going to be one of those things that we have to think about as we do this. And I mean, I honestly, I don't really see any reason why we wouldn't, in the really, really short term, focus on bug fixing to the point that we can take, and I mean, I know that we're already really, really close with, especially with text and bulk and with RoboContact, to be able to go say, okay, let's just take this to market. I mean, I know it's on market right now, but we might not even need investors. We just need to go find some customers, right? That's really what we need. We already have the products, and honestly, UI helps, but UI does not have to be perfect to have a sellable product that you can make a pretty good MRR on, right? So to me, the products that are effectively finished, I think our focus should really be on selling it versus thinking about getting investment for it, because it's already a finished product.
To some extent, I totally agree. And just so you know, one of the meetings that I had today earlier was with really two key people here at Tier 5, which is my wife and my PM, my production manager, about the product plan and why I'm gone on vacation. So essentially, I told them, hey, don't fucking bother me for essentially almost the next 30 days. And at the same time, they are doing essentially a code freeze and all new feature. Like we've been kicking out new features from the roadmap to kind of have some excitement and really increase stuff. Like all that ceases, and they're going to go do a very thorough restructuring and refactoring and code freeze on all actual products. And there won't be any actual new development. So all that's actually already planned and is going to be taken care of while I'm gone. That code freeze. really drilling down to each product. Hopefully during that time frame, people in the community can actually come together on that selling marketing part, which essentially I guess is funneling words.
So I mean, to that point, I mean, I think what that really means is on the finished product side, the only thing that we're really going to need, knowing that we don't necessarily have a lot of money to pour into new feature development in the short term, we can probably do a little bit, right? But what we probably really need to do is invest time and resources into sales, into marketing, right? For those finished products. So it's going to be a matter of really figuring out how to get traction on those in a broader sense, and start getting more MRR coming in on those. On that note, how are we going to keep track of the performance of the products on the market? Do you have, or I guess, are you going to be able to give us access to detailed signups, number of customers that are currently on the products, what that overall how the overall product is trending and how much money it's making?
So yes, that's something that's a natural assumption that the product, like if you're asking me that, Eric, if you're asking me that, my default response would be like, hey, let's ask the product owner for that. Let's ask that product owner about that information.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd obviously have access to the information that you actually to own that product and make sure that it's actually successful. Granted that from my perspective, I'm entrusting you to make sure that shit's done and it's making me your money and the tier 5 community and all that shit. We're all happy with that. So I'm just entrusting that to you.
Obviously. So and as we're talking about that, I'm kind of thinking about the product development life cycle, because I mean on a product that is effectively market ready, what we should probably do, at least as product owners, is lay out to say, okay, here's what we want our budget to be for marketing. Here's what we want our budget to be for Facebook ads. Here's what we want our budget to be for new product development or whatever we're going to do. And that is going to vary on a product by product basis depending on what we want to do. But at the very least, we can kind of lay out those budgets and then balance that against income to say, okay, we're going to look at text in bulk and say, okay, text in bulk is currently making $5,000 a month. Well, what are we going to do with that money, right? And then and then have some agreement on, okay, I'm going to take this $5,000 a month and I'm going to take 1,000 of it. I'm going to go buy Facebook or whatever that goal is, right?
Oh yeah, so definitely those would be all things that I think are going to be falling in the product owners lap and the investors lap if we have those the responsible persons for that. I called them the other day. I called them pseudo investors because of the thing that you said as far as having somebody come in that's actually really going to invest because they're going to fucking write you a check, and the reason you don't have money once is because they got to go fucking liquidate assets and shit because they're going to give you some money. Versus somebody that's a pseudo investor that's like, I can put $100,000 a month in crypto or something and just fucking around and an investment. Pseudo dudes. So
yeah, and frankly, and if we could get some pseudo investors in there, that would probably be pretty cool. But obviously, those are going to be those are going to have to be different terms that laid out because obviously those people are paying way more than the JV team members, and they're going to have to get some different benefits for that.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be one of those things as well. If somebody is going to say, hey, I'm going to put $1,000 a month into tier 5, I'm not going to say what short-term benefits, but obviously there's going to have to be a ton of transparency with anybody who's ultimately doing that, because they're not expecting, if you're not going to go to them, I mean, if you do or you don't, it doesn't matter. But if you're not going to go to them and say, hey, you get a bunch of free software, you get to be in our JV team and kind of have all of the other JV benefits that are going to be out there, you're going to have a ton of transparency with those guys. We have regular investor meetings and say, hey, here's how we're doing, here's what's on deck, and and heavily involve them in that process.
Correct. Agreed. And I had provisions for that. My initial provisions for that was, so my initial provisions for that is how I see it is we have the community and we have the community membership. And what we do with that community membership is at first reach I've talked about inflated OC. And if you don't know what that is, then don't worry about it. But it's our target. Inflated OC is our target, where I'm willing to say, hey, for right now, everything else after inflated OC, you guys can consume and count me in on a little bit of it. But tier 5 needs inflated OC to essentially operate, right? So now we've got the community membership, and the community itself its goal is just to actually reach that inflated OC, right? So we reach that inflated OC. Once we reach that inflated OC, now the new goal of the community, and the only goal of the community, is to essentially attract new people in that are going to be part of our actual promoters, doing work for us and actually promoting and helping us in the sales force. Because we don't need anything monetarily, we don't need anything else. Anything after inflated OC is just profit, and we don't actually need that to maintain historic growth rates, right? So now we have the community. So essentially what that means is once we reach the inflated OC goal of the community, we can turn off community memberships and really focus in just on selling softwares to create individual streams of revenue for each and every software, right? Now, on top of that, we can say, hey, if we do still allow community members to come in, what are the main reasons that they're coming in? Most likely is access to those softwares. So we take stable softwares that users get access to, essentially stable revenue streams, and we divide that by the income that's coming in over top the OC, that's tier 5's profit, to go in. And let's say in the scenario right now, we reach OC, our goal is 30,000 a month. We reach 60,000 a month. After affiliate commissions and stuff, we got 30,000 a month. That's divided by 5. So we got 6,000 a month that's going into what we could consider, hey, this revenue must be coming from RoboContact, because we're just equally dividing community memberships into a software. And then we also have the affiliate sales coming from the individual software to create a pool of money that's tier 5's portion of that money that we can then go in and cut in half, let's say, and say, hey, that's for the investors, and they get to consume this again. That's for the product owner, they get to consume this. And those are their paychecks. That's money that we can go in for those incentives. So essentially, those would be the incentives. After our inflated OC, there's all this profit that's remaining on tier 5 side. So we can take that tier 5 profit and we can essentially chop it down and say, hey, these are the extra benefits that you get and we can show that we can extrapolate right now, just with historic data, we can extrapolate that we need about 5 to 7 months is essentially what we need right now, based on historic data, to reach a state at which we have additional revenues, residual revenues coming in that are over top of our inflated OC. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That sounds like that's going to be a sensible model.
Well, that to me, it's perfect to me, because then we have, like, my ultimate ambition right now. It's not my ultimate ambition, but the first thing that I want to do is have an autonomous company that doesn't need me to actually operate, that generates revenue on its own and doesn't need anything else to really generate revenue, and has key people in there that can keep that going. And then I can do the thing that I need to do on a much higher level. We have sustainable products, and then we also have the pool now where that extra revenue can be divvied up to those other people. And plus we can get, obviously I want tier 5 to grow in the next stage and go from having 40 developers to maybe 4,000. I lose a lot of personal connection with 4,000 developers, and it's going to be, although I think I can still do it, I can motivate like 4,000 engineers and be like, let's fucking build an AI and drink beer. Beer and AI.
Hopefully not at the same time.
Definitely not at the same time, in different stages. We might drink beer and think about how we're going to build it, but probably not doing the build it. Maybe do it, but revise. Any beer, any AI written under the influence of alcohol definitely has to go through quality twice. But that's what I was thinking, Eric, is that could be our incentive for those product owners and for those investors that come in. To be like, hey, you're going to get, because you think that investor, and I already mapped it out, you think that investor already, let's say if we could find 30 of those people that are pseudo investors that have $1,000, those guys instantly right now, they have now created the inflated OC. Inflated OC is already now done. Like, we have that, it's tangible, we have that. So the residual stream that we have right now, which is essentially around 10K, if you minus the affiliate portion on it, it's like almost 5K, right? If you minus the affiliate portion of it and don't consider me an affiliate, it's a little bit more than that. It's like 7K that we have come in from the community right now. So if we found 30 of those pseudo investors that just said, hey, we got the extra 1K a month to invest in this and hopefully get these profits back after some time, then we already have 7K. We already essentially have 7K that are dividends for those pseudo investors to offer them as a, now that doesn't cover their 1K, obviously, but it proves them wrong. And we have that obviously, like the historic map that we can create. There's not a lot of historic time. There's only 2.5 months that we can say, hey, over this 2.5 months, this is our growth rate and our stickiness rate to get people in these communities in this concept. And here's our software. Here's our actual product owners. That means we need product owners first. That's all something I'm hoping to be able to achieve while I'm on vacation, when I get to focus, which is interact more with the network now that I'm actually building, and plan all this out so that whenever I get back to India and I'm technically off vacation and I'm now can focus again on work, that there's an actual plan and a structure, so that, because I myself don't think we need more than 5 or 7 months. And that takes into account that none of you fucking people do anything at all. You just fucking sit there and don't do anything. And I do everything on my own. Like, it literally, my accounting is, if I keep going for 5 or 7 months, I'll have the community funded by myself. And that's not the case, obviously. You guys are out there doing stuff, and you guys are going to continue to be out there doing so. So that's why I was thinking how we could compensate those people is just by giving them some of that profits, because we don't need that much of it. Not right now. And plus, you think, I mean, you know, Eric, if we get the right product owners and we really focus on these, then it ain't nothing about 30K. I mean, we got softwares that could be making 100 a month from their income streams easily. It just applies some marketing and some sales. That's all we're missing. So
exactly. Well, and then obviously high converting landing pages, right? That's going to kind of be the other piece. But those are all things that we can that we can work on, especially for those products that are effectively done. You know, they might not have all of the features that we want, but if they're stable and we can take them to market right now, we just need to go find customers, right? That's basically what the goal is. And if we can, and if we can add some 5-digit numbers to MRR for a couple of products, then you're going to be at your goal overnight.
Sure, I agree 100%. So find users for the software, find customers for them, and also keep trying to find affiliates, because those dudes will be. I'd rather find an affiliate that can find users for the software than find a software user. Because if I find an affiliate, then he's just going to be out there finding users, and I'll find another affiliate. He's going to be out there finding users. I'll find another affiliate, and that's what I would rather focus on myself, is just finding people who can go find the users for me.
Yep, definitely. And I mean, especially for the stable products that are ready to sell, the thing that I would probably do is basically do AdWords, and let's start targeting some competitors with AdWords. So, with text in bulk, let's go target some of the top CRMs and try to buy AdWords against those guys. So, we would be actually going after HubSpot, we'll be going after ActiveCampaign and these guys, and try to get placements in some of those spots to try to drive traffic. That to me is going to be the easiest thing to do. And probably, I mean, obviously we can go use our SEO tools to find out exactly where these keywords are going to rank and how much we think that those words might cost. But I mean, if we can get some words that are getting 1,000 views a day, and we can get a 1% click-through rate, we should be able to add a couple of new customers each day, even not performing that well for each product. And if we're selling each of those at a couple $100 a month list price out to the open market, we're going to be there in no time.
Sure.
We just have to make an effort to be able to actually go position against these guys, and and obviously once the traffic lands on the page, be able to convert them. So to me, that seems like that's the most achievable goal for the stable products, because that's going to be the shortest runway.
I agree, and from my perspective, that's something that would all be essentially either under the management of the product owner or the actual investors. So I can manage it all, but I just don't want to. I want other people to do it, so I can do even other stuffs.
Obviously. So on what have you figured out on the budget side of Tier 5? Because obviously you're splitting this between between developers that are soft costs, and you're going to be splitting this against capital expenditures that you're going to have to make, right? Depending on whether they're UX designers or whether you're going to be buying Facebook ads, whatever those channels are. What do you have figured out on your side as far as budget that you're going to be able to spread around?
So for the most part, we can appropriate all tier 5 side of the community income. So for the most part, we can take all tier 5 side of the community income and appropriate that to
which is currently what?
Let us check real quick. Let us check real quick what it is, because I'm not 100% sure. I think it's right here. So this is something you guys have all have access to, and you can see it. That's another thing that would be an additional benefit for an investor, is even more transparency and actual real ownership of a company. So, so right here, I think it is where this is. Now, keep in mind, this is a little bit This is a little bit inflated due to the fact that this number right here actually includes some of these datas, which are free trial members, where we don't technically have that revenue stream right there. So, but it's here. It's 102 people at the $97 a month at the $97 a month plan, and it's around 10K. So this is what technically goes out to the affiliates according to our commission structure.
Gotcha.
This is tier 5. But if you were to actually look at most of these, if you were to actually look at not most of these, but if you were to look at all sales and actually filtered by sales that I'm directly responsible for myself, that means we don't actually have to pay out anything to the affiliate commission, or we don't have to pay anything out to the affiliate network here. There's 28 of those, so that just essentially means that 57 times 28, there's an extra $1,000 sitting here. So it's essentially reversed almost, where we could essentially right now appropriate this, and we could, for the most part, we can continue to do that. We can continue to take the funds that are coming in from the community, because I can sustain this company no problem without having stuff come in from the community, because I bill most of our developers out and make money. So pretty much all the goal is, so the real goal, in case you guys are interested, like my real actual goal and what I plan on actually doing is, obviously with your guys' help, and the right people that I find that can be my partners and really help me, is to once the community is actually fully funded and we have full funds from the actual community, to go through essentially what would be a decoupling process and a, let's say, mindset and training process between tier 5 and their clients and tier 5 and their employees, where what we would do is, once we actually achieve that inflated OC that we want for that inflated OC, I've put a lot of thought into this actually, if you haven't noticed. That inflated OC is meant to run us on a 12-month production run, because I know what I could do myself if I just had 40 engineers that was like, hey, we got 12 months, here's the shit that we're about to fucking build. We're gonna build a lot of stuff. So once the community actually hits its goal and we reach that inflated OC, then what we would do is essentially go down through a cool down period that would transition anybody that we're offering services to that don't fall into one of 4 core areas in which we're willing to give services, which I can define for you if you want me to define in where tier 5 would actually be comfortable selling a software development service to an external person instead of consuming it ourselves for our own products. So we'll decouple ourselves from those types of jobs, and during that decoupling process, we're also going to cool down and essentially mind shift and retrain employees to a new lean process, essentially, because we need to decouple, and we need to do that. And we also need to essentially verify that inflated OC that we just got is a stable thing, that we're comfortable in saying, oh, hey, all you clients, fuck off. We don't need your money anymore. All right. So that's going to be a small amount of time. You can assume that we need like 3 months probably, where we can say, hey, we've reached this inflated OC every single month, and maybe saw some growth as well. So right now we're comfortable that, hey, we got enough reserves, and we've got, this predictable stream of income that we can tell these people to essentially fuck off and now be full-fledged building our own actual products. So that's
all you're actually talking about doing is you're just going to let some of your contracts run out, right, and then not go seek new ones, right? You're just not going to be
For the most
aggressively
part,
find.
yes.
Yeah.
For,
And that makes sense.
for the most part, yeah.
So where we are right now is the community itself is making, so let's say we have $6,000 a month to invest across the board into new stuff.
These guys, by the way, Eric, these guys right here
Yeah.
are these guys that are getting this. These are perfect dudes to go and pitch a fucking investment option because they ain't investing shit but the stuff that they're making from us already. So we could query these guys right here that we're paying this money to.
Exactly.
Like, hey, you guys want this investment plan? Give us our money back.
Exactly. But so are you gonna put any additional money into this other than what the community's making as far as an investment goes to be able to contribute?
I don't really have those plans, no. So I have the plan to continue to no, not really. So I'll continue to actually make sure that there is a company that is full of people that are ready there to be owned by a community. I'll continue to do all that shit and make sure that Tier 5 still is there and we're ready for you guys whenever you are. But am I actually prepared to go in and take something that's meant as something that's meant, and I use it actually in billables, that is meant to minimize risk, which is the WC, the working capital, the reserve. Yep. So I know I don't really want to dip into that because it's a lot more riskier. So.
Of course. So what I'm looking at right now. So as it stands today, about $6,000 a month is the grand total that we have to play with across all products and anything else that we're going to do right as it stands right now.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And we can that's going to grow if we do the right stuff. We can make
obviously.
But yeah, that's kind of where it stands right now.
Is that
if I had the right, like you weren't here at the beginning of the meeting, but and you must understand, because I know you're into this space, that like a sit down or a stand up in a tech company and how those fucking reports work and how they're like fucking real fast, high level information, no bullshit, like no little time gaps in between unless people really need a breather or you're using it for emphasis. That type of thing is what it's meant to be, like the stand up, the first part of this group. If I found those actual individuals that were really product owners and really people that had that capability and were actually doing that and could come up with a plan and present in that manner, like a plan, like, hey, this is why we need you to give us 30K, John, then yeah, am I open to financing it myself? Yeah, sure. So I could do that, but I don't have any plans to do that. Now, could somebody otherwise? Yeah, sure. But they'd have to be a fucking professional to be like, hey, this is what needs to be done. This is our path to actually do it. The only thing really standing in the way is we need some money, John. And I'll be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to figure out from the product, from the wrapping back around to the conversation, when we're talking about product owners, what we're going to get to work with right now is $6,000 a month across the board that we're going to get to invest back into the products, right? Whatever it is, whether it's marketing or whatever. Do developer salaries come out of that number right now?
No, they don't. And we can still manage at least one dev per product. I can still contribute one dev, like a full dev, in the managerial oversight that goes to that full resource per product to do whatever dev shit needs to be done.
So basically what we're going to say then here is development is effectively free on this stuff unless we want to go crazy and build some crazy ass new shit. Development's basically free. It's not going to cost us anything to do bug fixing. It's not going to cost us. It's not going to cost us anything to add incremental features. That's all included, right?
Sure. If you want to do 16 hours a day worth of development, then I'm not accounting for that right now. I probably could and be like, oh, let's grab a developer from somewhere else, but I still have to make a nut from clients and make sure clients have enough developers. And typically the average client isn't a 1-to-1 ratio, because what I do is I calculate an actual efficiency per resource. And whenever I build a client is based on a standardized unit of time. So if I got a resource that's, clocked in at a 0.6 efficiency, that means that client technically almost has 2 resources. You got one and then an auxiliary one that's making up
exactly
0.4, because I'm billing on a standard of 1 efficiency.
And so from a product owner point of view, if we're looking at our product and we're saying, hey, we don't need any development time in a given week, does that free up money?
No, not really. Not really. No. But there's a developer there, and it essentially could possibly generate money if I apply a function to go in and apply a process to sell that development time and raise money.
Right. And obviously the reason why I ask is, if we get to a point where we're reasonably satisfied with the current state of the product and maybe we want to free up another couple thousand a month, if that would make sense to be able to do that rather than, if you're going to put a code freeze on it, let's say, okay, let's just leave the code freeze on it. We're pretty happy with the product. Let's go invest in selling it. Then maybe we can, get back a couple thousand more dollars per month out of that to be able to go sell it.
No, I'm not coming for that. If you could just give me like 2 minutes real quick so I can pee, though.
That's a great conversation as far as the product and where it's at and financially and moving forward. I like that.
Were you thinking then, what you're talking about sounds to me like you're talking about a reallocation of funds. If we actually set it down, break it into a budget, a line item budget, and then if we don't use this amount in this amount of time, we can reallocate it someplace else. Is that the kind of thing you're wanting to see? Eric, did you leave?
Maybe he had to take a break
with
too.
John.
Everybody taking a bathroom break.
Yeah. I just had to pee really bad. I've been wanting for a while to go pee. You see me drinking all this water and tea and stuff.
I know the feeling.
Ideally, those answers to me. Ideally, those answers to those questions about appropriating funds and stuff would come from those other roles that we talked about, like a tier 5 investor. Because my whole end goal in this entire process is to all things tier 5 related, to be able to be completely removed, have the process still completely work and function without any of my interference, so that I can do something else, which would be like, let's say, a second tier 5 or the next thing.
Yeah, but John, can that spiral out of control and move away from what your vision is, or you'll still have a handle on the whole thing?
Oh, I'll still have a handle on the whole thing, because I'm not going to step outside of tier 5. Like, that's not my goal, is to step outside of tier 5. My goal is to be able to be where I'm not needed whatsoever in tier 5, and I don't have to worry about anything, so that as I'm still inside tier 5, the shit that I do is exponentially more co-aligned with what I actually want to do in my real visions and ambition.
Sure. Nice. Also, I know someone who's a specialist in UI UX. Would you be interested in talking to him and seeing if he'd want to help out and participate? Or
yeah, I'm interested in all the help I can get.
Okay. Also, on your travels, do you plan on coming to New York City?
Well, I could. So I've been to New York. I've been to New York once, and I did enjoy it. I went there to just meet a client, a dude named Mitch, and I stayed there for like 3 days just to hang out with the client. We were doing some beacon stuff, and I enjoyed it. So I don't really have any actual plans. So the plan that I have so far is I'm landing in Florida, and I'm gonna stay in Florida for like a day or 2 days most likely, and then I'm flying to Denver, and then I'm flying to Cali. So I'm gonna go hang out with Hector for like a day or 2 days. So yeah, I can most likely definitely swing New York and hang out for a day or two in New York.
That'll be cool, because I can set up that meeting that I was talking to you about with the venture capitalist. That would be dope.
Yeah, I can do that. So I'm pretty much free. I'm pretty much going to be kind of free, where I can kind of do whatever, and I don't have any real plan. Whenever I do a visa run, I don't really make plans other than I make a destination, and then once I get to that destination, I'm like, what am I going to do? Because I'm technically on vacation. So I'm going to be pretty much free come the 13th or 14th. We're free to roam until essentially the 28th in the U.S. and then I'm going to leave the 28th and fly to the Netherlands and fly to Amsterdam and hang out until Wednesday. Probably hang out until Thursday and then fly back and be back to work on Wednesday in India on the 1st of August. And skip the first month of the quarter. So I'm ahead. I probably shouldn't be doing it, but I'm ahead of my actual plans of where I thought I would be in this process of automating everything. So, and I kind of need a break of a third world country, so it will be good. I don't get to do a lot of networking, and I'll be able to do business stuff and network with people. That's part of why I mentioned to you guys in the U.S. that would like a visit and would think that could somehow benefit, and we could obviously, outside of just meeting each other and being like, yeah, we've met and have that social proof, we could somehow use that to our advantage to create some leverage, like, set up this meeting or talk to other local people and do that. I'm totally down to do that.
Awesome.
Get time otherwise to do any stuff like that.
Cool. So what's the best form of communication for you to talk to this guy before to see if it's worth it for you to come here for that specifically?
Yeah, he can add me on
I know he's not really on Facebook.
You can message me on LinkedIn. You can give him my email address, which is on that. It's on that document that get connected with everybody. It's john@thinkvaughn.com. I can give it. I'll send it to you through messages, so he can call me. It's just usually if he calls me, I need to know what number he's calling from because my calls are mostly screened. Sometimes I don't just pick up random numbers if I don't actually know who they are, for the most part, unless somebody specific.
Well, he calls you. You're in India, right? So.
Yeah, he can call. I've got U.S. numbers that he can call. Obviously, I got a whole platform text and that sends text and phone numbers. So.
Right.
I can get those phone calls, so that's no big deal.
I didn't even think of that. Okay. Sorry.
So that was pretty much product owners. I'm not sure if you guys have any other input on product owners, or if I've explained enough essentially what I'm looking for and essentially what my role and what I want a product owner to do. The other stuff that I had was essentially making a new membership role. So the JV team membership is $97 a month. I was actually wanting to try to obviously query back into the network that we already have and extract more money from them. So try to figure out who has. I sent you guys a message in the chat bot as well, like who has more money and they're ready to give more money because they see the actual potential in this, where they were, and they understand that I'm fair and they see the potential in this, and they know that they will get a benefit from it in the long run, to be able to go ahead and actually start the process of this decoupling and this cooling down, where we can actually now as a community consume this time. So several things I thought that I could give as additional benefits to getting on a higher tier, let's say at 197. That actual Eric is a first team member that we brought on that's at that new higher elevated JV team price. All right. So I was thinking about anybody that wants to switch and get on that higher price, allowing additional benefits. One of those I could do easily is a higher affiliate commission. So I could give you a higher commission on your actual affiliate payouts. Let's say an extra 10% or an extra 15% on your affiliate payouts. So I could do that, give you a higher actual commission on those affiliate payments. I could also give you additional accounts for your reseller accounts on the softwares. And I was also thinking I could give you like a community membership. I could give you an additional community membership that you could appropriate and manage as you see fit. Meaning, like, if you've got somebody that you want to get on and they're still on the edge about whether they want to commit to it, you can just be like, oh, no problem. I'll get you in for free right now and you can just be like, okay, here's that community member that I have, that extra. It was this person, so I want to cancel them out. Now it's this person. I'm going to add that person in, where essentially that would trigger a function where that dude's no longer a community member, and we remove him, and he's access to the software is essentially suspended while your new person comes in, and you can give them a trial as an extra tool that either you can just give to free for somebody and be like, hey, you got this, or you can use it as a tool that you can. It's called a managed. It's on the list, and it's called a managed community member, where essentially you pay $197 a month and you get a higher commission, a higher affiliate commission, and you get 2 community memberships, one for yourself and an additional one that you can manage. You can say, hey, this is for my aunt, or this is for my mom. And then after 2 weeks, you can be like, okay, hey, my mom signed up and she's paying $97, so I'm going to give this now to somebody else, and they can come try it and see if they like it. And if they like it after 2 weeks, I can get them to buy it, and then I can do the same thing. So I'm open to giving that as well. My goal is to keep the community right now as small as possible, to build that inflation-weighted OC and identify those people that can do this now process autonomous in my stead, and be like, okay, you guys, now the community's built, we're funded, let's manage that. So all the additional money now coming into the community is going in to you guys, but to fund it as quick as possible. That's actually obviously my goal.
Excellent. I have another quick question. Why so many different price points for each one of the programs? Can we like narrow it down program-wide, like to 1 per program?
We could, and I've been thinking about 2 ways to do that. All right. One of those ways is actually come up with like another elevated role in which you pay more money for that elevated role, and you get to be part of that decision-making tree that actually makes those decisions and just says, hey, this is the best thing for us to do. And it's more credible that you can obviously understand why that would be a paid role, because it's more credible that you would know what's better to do because you can afford more money, which means that you must be, doesn't necessarily mean that you must be a good decision maker, but you're more apt to be one, obviously, right? So that's one way to have like other leaders, like a leadership role where like these people are the people that are making those decisions and implementing them, or as a JV team, we come together and actually implement those. So yeah, it's totally possible. To me, honestly, it's just a number to me. I'll sell the software, like literally, to be quite frank. If somebody today approached me and said, hey, John, I got 30,000 users that will sign up for this today, how much is it going to cost? I would definitely probably say like, hey, right now, I'm happy with $1 a piece. Like $1 a piece, I'm totally fucking happy with that, and that could be the new price point because now I've just hit my inflated OC and I can fulfill the function that I actually want to do. So the price is just the price is just a function of inflated OC divided by users to me, and I really don't care how many users there to some extent there are of the software. What I care about is hitting that inflated OC so that we can go through a decoupling process, and then over a production run of 12 months, we can essentially, now that you can see that we're now operating in this autonomous state where we can consume all these engineering resources and we have these other people in the community that can give us dictations, we can fucking get to $1 million a month or $5 million a month. I mean, we fucking compete literally. Like, that's what you guys should understand. ClickFunnels, we could compete with those dudes. Those dudes are fucking putting over $66 million a fucking year in their pockets. Yep. And they got less developers than us. Like, if we were really funded, we could do that type of revenue. Like, and we already have that in our software price. Text and bulk, if it had the right love and care and design, it can make $1 million a month after 3 months of marketing and a marketing budget that we need, and hopefully we get that from the community. So
cool. Now, do you have plans to build a website builder, to develop a website builder?
Yes and no. So we need one. We definitely need one. I wouldn't mind partnering with somebody with a tech company that already has one and like doing a merger or something, or being partners and getting kickbacks and stuff. That's kind of why I have ClickFunnels and Builderall right now, is because since we don't have one, to be able to still offer one to people that come into our network and make some affiliate commission on that. But yeah, we definitely need one. So if, let's say in a perfect world, the community was funded today, right now, right? And maybe I hadn't identified actual leaders. All I've identified was people with arbitrage $97 to give me money, so I don't have anybody to actually support me and guide me and say, hey, this is what we should really be doing. So it's all just still coming out of my head, right? So now I have my working capital where I don't have to sell engineering services to clients anymore. I don't have to sell my own time to clients anymore. I've got all my own time. I've got the working capital, and I've got all the engineers, and no one to tell me, hey, let's do this, and no one to help me say, hey, this is what we're doing. First, that's the first thing that I would do. The first thing that I would do is essentially divide my company into 4 teams and be like, look, motherfuckers, we're building these 3 different products, and then this other team, you guys are supporting the existing product that we have, all right? You guys are going to support these existing products, whether it's supporting all of them or, grouping together, because that would essentially be 10 engineers. So that means my existing products, I could have 2 devs on each one, and then I could have 3 teams, each with 10 devs, and I could build 3 other products. One product would essentially be a landing page builder. Let's say, I don't want to say a ClickFunnels competitor or a Builderall competitor, because if those people really wanted to be like, hey, John, let's partner, I wouldn't want them to find content anywhere on the internet that says, hey, I'm going to fucking compete with those guys and take those guys down. But we need something just like that. We need a landing page builder that you can build landing pages and build little web pages. All right. So that would be one thing that we would actually build, a chatbot platform. Totally fucking necessary. All right. But very necessary in the next world of what's coming. So that would be our other product. And then the third product would be essentially, take our core products that we have right now and take that website builder and take that chatbot builder, and they would merge it all into one product, where essentially we've got another product, all right? And it's not really our product. It is a tier 5 product, but it's a tier 5 product in a sense where some of the ways that we do business, we work for people, and the rate that we work for people, what it means is that we are not under an explicit constricting contract that means that we can't reuse the source code. So essentially we're in an agreement where we have joint ownership of the actual source code and the application itself. We're allowed to use that application because that client is not an agreement where they specifically own the IP of the code. So we can still, they have the product and they've launched it, we can still launch it ourselves because that's the agreement that it's ours as a tool as well. And that product, essentially what it does is it allows you to go in and get a bunch of information that you need whenever you want to start a business. So essentially you can almost think of it as you put in some keywords about a business that you want to create and a location that you're comfortable being at. And then it goes and essentially scrapes all the census data from the US Census, and then essentially gives you back a plan on where the best way is for you to actually where the best place for you to locate your business is, like where you should get property to go think about building your business in this block of the city or in that block of the city, and how many people that you would have in that area that's your market, and what is their total expected expenditure and stuff like that. So the goal is that we would essentially merge that, some type of process like that, where what an entrepreneur could do is they could log into the system and they can be like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur, I've got this venue, like this way that I'm going to actually make money, which we know for the most part is going to consist of what things? A place to display a message, i.e. website, right? Some way of communication, i.e. email, phone call, text message, Facebook. For the most part, maybe we could add in a couple things, like maybe they need Skype or something like that. For the most part, with communication, we just managed everything with email, phone call, text message, and Facebook Messenger. We just encapsulated all communication. So now we got landing page builder, website builder, communication, some type of invoicing, some type of selling, accounting thing where you can actually get your money. Why do you have a website? Because you're trying to show some information to somebody, to get them to talk to you so you can communicate with them and actually sell them some shit and get the money for that thing. All right. We have that already in Invoicing You. So essentially to merge those platforms in together. We don't have the website builder yet. We don't have the chatbot platform yet. But what we would essentially do is create a system that allows, it's kind of like a true business in a box, where you would log in and be like, okay, this is my business. And you create your business, you tell us your business, you name your little business, and then everything is essentially appropriated for you. It's like, you have a checklist, do you have an email, do you have a domain for this business, yes or no? If so, let's get that attached and let's get that set up. Do you have a website for this business, yes or no? Hopefully no, and you're just going to build that little thing. You're going to be able to be building those little landing pages, all things connected to that business. Here's a phone number for this business where you can call and text people and email people and send, here's a chatbot for this business, where now you can have ways to show your little information and a communication channel to drive people to see those little pages where you can collect your little money, kind of like a business in a box. So those would be the three things that I would do. Is I would build that chatbot building platform, I would build a landing page platform, and then essentially I would build concurrently another platform that includes that chatbot builder, includes that landing page builder, and includes all your communication. So you can just kind of go there and everything you need to do is right there. Like you need to talk to a bunch of people, you just talk to them. You need to make a little landing page, you just land it. You need to see a customer and his billing, you just do all that, because an entrepreneur would want to do that. So
that's actually really interesting, because one of the things that you should be able to do if you have the census data kind of embedded in a platform is hook that in with both RoboContact and Text and Bulk, because you're going to be able to prospect, use that for prospecting, right? Say, I want to zero in on the zip code and find all of the, nail salons that are here, right? Because I'm going to go sell them something. And if you kind of had that in one place where you could, effectively, hone in on a particular geographic area that you wanted to target, click a button to go invoke a search, or to go kick off RoboContact, and then kind of at the same time start automatically prospecting those people. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, so that would be another piece, right? The lead gen built into the platform, kind of like merging I'm sure you guys can see that all of our softwares, it's almost like if we rebuilt them, we could merge them all in together. We need two other pieces. A landing page builder that we don't have, that can build essentially mobile force landing pages that are going to be served up in Messenger, and a chatbot platform. And if we merge all that shit, we want individual platforms as well, landing page platform individually, chatbot building platform individually, and like super just badass everything that you want, like kind of like Builderall is, right? It's just like everything's there, except for a little bit more. So yeah, having something like this. This is that site I was telling you about that we built. I don't even actually have the logins, probably because like I said, the billing terms in this, we have joint rights to the source, and it also means that this dude didn't really get my brain. He worked with people directly over here and completely bypassed me, where I'm not involved in this, because his billing terms were like $12 an hour, where I'm not fucking, my brain is not included, no matter how many developers you have paying $12 an hour. So but this is that, it's Soar Logic, and that's essentially what they do. Is we have all that census data, we go pull into the census APIs, and it tells you about your potential customers, your consumer spending, it tells you about the market landscape. Like, hey, there's different scenarios you can do. Like you can say, hey, I'm going to open up a fast food restaurant and I'm going to fucking rent a place here. And then Zor Logic will essentially tell you, well, if you do that, here's the average people that live around here based on the census data. Here's their total income. Here's the percentage of that income that they typically spend on food. Here's all your fucking competitors that are here, and all the different other restaurants that are here that you're going to be competing with. And you can compare locations and say, well, what if I got so let's say you're wanting to start a franchise for McDonald's, and you've got 7 different places open in some city, where you can go in and put those 7 different places in, and then we'll run a comparison and say, hey, what the homeowners around here, what type of people are these people, and all that census data, like what is your market that lives right around here, what is your market that's passing through here based on all these other industries that are around this location, what's your competition look like based on the other businesses that are also here in this location, all that good shit. So this could be one piece. Like, you need to start a business, your business is going to have all this information. So like a master product.
How long would it take you to stand up an instance of this on the Tier 5 side, just a skeleton of it?
I'm not sure. Probably like a week in production time. Probably like 8 hours.
Because it doesn't even.
Probably like 8 hours of actual time, but in terms of being able to output, probably like a week, because we'd have to go back in and do. We haven't had active dev. Now I know we talked to this dude, or at least Shakanu talked to him like maybe 3 days ago. He sent a message for some database stuff, but we haven't done any active dev work here probably for 3 months. It's been before we moved to this office, so probably like 5 months since we did active dev. We could still spin it all up and everything, but just a week. I could say if we needed to do it in a week, we could have a core thing. I probably have somewhere in here, if I look inside Teamwork, I probably have actual logins and stuff to show you inside. I haven't been involved in it at all outside the initial beginning. So the initial beginning, I helped them like map out the high level concept of everything, and essentially I helped map out some of the actual business logic with the actual Census API calls, because the Census API calls are real stupid. Really, really stupid.
I think that'd be a real interesting thing to look at because, you know, even without making a standalone product, that could be real interesting to just incorporate some of those pieces in some of the other products. You know, and something that we could do, especially because you already have the code base. If you could say, okay, we can take a week of dev time and retrofit, you know, some of these APIs into one of the other tools, and you know, be able to display a map that people can browse or something like that. That might be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't see we have the actual logins here, but I can get the logins. I know we have all the actual. I know we have all the actual code here somewhere. But this is actually a pretty cool product, and it's part of, like I said, it's part of what I would actually build into this new master product. You think like an all-in-one stop tool for an entrepreneur, where literally like pretty much everything you can think of, you could essentially just throw in that product. Like even this little postage scraper that we were building the other day to actually help advertising, that is another tool that somebody needs. So that's what I would do. But that's, like I said, that's if the community was actually funded and I didn't have anybody helping me saying, hey, what you should actually do. And I was just like, okay, I just do whatever I want. Those would be my 3 things. So make 4 teams, 1 to support our current products, and then 1 to build a chatbot platform, 1 to build like a funnel competitor, and then 1 to build like I call it Genesis. So builder all taken, and I never thought about that name, but I was like, whenever I first started a company, that's what a company called Genesis. Like it's an all-in-one solution that is where you need to go from being inside your head to actually being legitimate, where you can like fucking say, hey, here's a business, here's its assets, and it's making money, and here's all that explained right inside the software. So
cool.
Make sure you guys click that link. So there's a link that you can click. But I think it's in the chat twice already. If you don't see it, let me put it in there. It just essentially gives you credit that you actually attended this meeting, so that if some later date you're like, hey, whatever, you know, nothing works, if nothing is going on, I can just be like, hey, did you ever come to meetings? No, you didn't. So that's why nothing worked for you, because you don't know what to do because you never been to meetings or whatever. But I do have more time if you guys have more stuff that you want to talk about. But these meetings are always really for you guys and people who actually want to participate and help me with all the shit that on my plate. I'm always up for help, obviously. So what do you guys think about this? Did you guys like this child sponsor program or this positive change program?
We love it.
Definitely.
Akiva, you're still there? You're still there? You guys can match? Can you give me one?
John?
Yeah.
It's Darla. I can't get that link to let me click through. I think it's my computer, and my apologies if anybody gets spam from me. That is not good, because something just crossed my Facebook, and it says something about a video, so I got to shut everything down and not open it. So if anybody gets it, please don't open it, because I don't know what's in it. I didn't send it.
Okay.
So I'm going to check out for now. And like I said, it won't let me click the button to say that I'm in the meeting, but don't talk to you before you leave. Have a great vacation.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. See you later. If you need anything, just put something in the community. I am while I'm on vacation, I am delegating people to do my job in the community for my stay that you'll be able to interact with in the community.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Maybe in the bathroom there's some, if you don't have. Do you guys have any other questions or anything? No question? You guys are all good on questions?
Yeah, I think so. I think, once I have everything set up and I start marketing my stuff and start getting people to join in, I'll start working on building a page. Now, where do you have your affiliate pages for T5 built on?
ClickFunnels. Mine, the ones that I have. So Hector's gave me some, and then I've just built a couple on my own on ClickFunnels. So I am a Builderall ambassador and have a Builderall account, but I never built a landing page there. But I'm not really trying to build, like honestly, I'm not trying to build landing pages and funnels or anything like that. I'd much rather the community go in, and that's part of what I was hoping is the community would just be like, hey, we're building all this, and they'd be helping each other out. Because I'm no good at that stuff. I mean, I can do it, and I am doing it just because there hasn't been enough of that done for you solution voluntarily by a community member. But one of them is right here on ClickFunnels. One of them is just this one. This is the only actual real community one. There's another one, I guess, that is almost the same that Hector actually created as well. And then I created this one just to capture leads, mostly just to do a training on how to actually integrate this with a webhook that will actually create users, that will build actual users in our actual softwares. So there's this one, all right? And this one you can actually, if you want, you can point users here with your AID, your same AID, your affiliate ID. You can point users there, and that will technically rewrite all the information in these call to actions that have an affiliate ID. So if somebody clicks on this, and somebody clicks,
right? No.
Chatbot with your affiliate ID.
Yeah, that part I understand, but that page should be redone.
Yeah, I agree. They should all be redone. And if you
that's what I'm saying.
If you want to take lead,
yeah.
Now it does require a layer of trust, obviously. But if you want to take lead on that, though, I'm always looking for people. That's one of the key things that I observe is that if you can actually take lead and do something if it's beneficial, trust me, I'm a real smart fucking guy. So if you do something that's valuable and it goes in and actually helps me and it's valuable, I'm going to make sure that you're happy and you're going to continue to do those valuable things. I'm going to take care of everybody that's actually really providing things that are valuable and really helping us out. So if you want to take a lead on that, be my guest.
I do. Awesome. Now, I don't have a ClickFunnels account anymore. I use Convertri. So how would that work?
That's totally fine with me. Essentially, you could create the landers yourself in Convertri, right? And just have them created as assets for yourself, and then they could easily be created in ClickFunnels or in Builderall after that. And essentially what you could do is you could create the landing pages, create the leads, like get the leads into your own list, and then either dump them off to us, to like your affiliate link, or then or either dump them off to us in your affiliate link, or I mean it is actually possible where you could collect the income right then and there, and we split it on the back end. So essentially, and what that means is what that means is I have an agreement with another person that I've made even way before I started this community, where essentially he has a Stripe account that's a shared Stripe account with me that I've created for him, and he has his own landing pages, and he had his own process to get users in to that actual Stripe account, and then we split the money that comes into that Stripe account so that his funnels can essentially also hook in and do payment right inside those funnels, and it can all be completely transparent, and we can actually see and track how much sales he's actually producing, because it's all coming into his system and it's going into that Stripe account that we share. And then essentially I just split the money out to him, actually let him connect his bank account to it, and pull the money right out into his actual bank account, and then just pay an invoice to me on what he actually owes me for my share of, essentially he gets paid an affiliate fee. The difference is he first collects the money because I trust him enough. He first collects the money, and then he owes me on the backside to actually pay. And then if he doesn't pay me, it's no big deal, because ultimately I do own the Stripe account, and I could literally tell him to fuck off because it is like my Stripe account. I just let him connect the bank account so that as he collects money, it goes into the bank account and it goes right into his bank account, and we can both go in and actually monitor and see transactions. And I just tell him how much he owes me from all those transactions, and he just pays me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is totally.
How would something like that work though with the landing pages?
I don't know how your platform allows you to create. I mean, I don't know how they allow you to actually take money. So like in ClickFunnels, you just look up the Stripe account and then you can collect.
Oh, no. Oh, of course, no. But what I mean is I'll be building these pages for all the T5 affiliates to use. So I don't see how there could be a monetary exchange there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Well, so now that's essentially, when I say if you want to take lead on it, all right, now essentially you don't necessarily have to build the landing pages for all the tier 5 affiliates to use. The first thing that, if you don't think that the landing pages are good enough for you, the first thing would be like create a landing page for you to use and actually convert. Then if you want to leverage the fact that you've created these things and share them with the community and say, hey, I've created these things, you guys can, I've got this share link where if you can just share it into your builder all or share it into your ClickFunnels, and you can now get an affiliate commission from them, or you can just copy what I've done and you're not giving them the actual landing page itself, other than the fact that if they can go look at yours and they can just go into builder all or go into ClickFunnels and just rebuild it on their own. If you want to give it as a ready-made resource, you could, but that extent it would have to be you'd be building it on your little platform, and then those would be the only ways you could really share it, right? Is have to build it in multiple platforms and saying, hey, if you're using ClickFunnels, here's a share funnel. If you're using Builder All, here's a funnel. If you're using what you said, your ConvertTree, then here's that landing page.
Yeah, I know. I can transfer within ConvertTree to someone else's account. I cannot transfer out. I did ask that question.
Right. Well, there's no way to transfer out until somebody signs up for an account. The same way with ClickFunnels. I can give you a share ClickFunnels, but all it's going to do is be like, hey, fucking create a ClickFunnnels account, and now this funnel's sitting inside there. And ConvertTree's probably the same way. It'd be probably like you can create a funnel and tell somebody else to get access to it, and then they gotta sign up and have an account, and then they can have access to that thing that you created for them. So that would be essentially, you'd be doing the same thing, creating those landing pages for yourself so that you can capture people and you can actually convert people. And then if you want to share them with the community and be like, hey, I've created these things, they're converting great for me, here's those for you, then I'm totally cool with that. Obviously, I'd love it if you took lead on that. It's going to be me, you,
yeah. Right, yeah, exactly. Well, the page I made is like, it's not individual to each program. It's just a general landing page. And that's the link I sent you.
Right.
But I'm talking about these pages, like this one in particular. You know, and the pages for each software in particular.
Right.
I'd like to redo them.
Yeah, you're totally free to do those. So if you want to redo them, I'm definitely redo them. We can find a way to, once you actually have them done, to integrate them into our own, like in our own landing page for the actual thing. And then if you want to share them with communities, the community members, they can build their own little versions of them as well. And I'm totally cool with that. Like, I'm totally cool with taking every landing page down for every one of our softwares and not even having a landing page because only the affiliate network is promoting them and actually selling them. I have no queries with that whatsoever. Or I also have no queries with just having the most high-end landing page. All the affiliates drive traffic to our landing page. I'm really indifferent on it. I don't care so much of the route as I do the end result and the destination.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm saying the page could be, you know, a little better to convert better. But if we offer it like you're offering this one now to everyone, and there's a page for, you know, Link Wizard, Magic Zap, each one, we have to have that as a company because not everyone that's going to come into this is going to know how to build a website.
Sure.
Unless some of us in the community offer to build it for them for a fee. But, you know, the company should have pages like you have now.
Sure. I agree 100%. So I don't disagree with you at all. It's just a function of who's actually gonna do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I
got it. As soon as I start making a little income from the program that I have more time to devote, which should be soon, then I'll start working on that.
Cool.
And then we can talk about what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see. I mean, you know, I'm flexible like that.
Yeah, I am too. Like I said, I'm completely indifferent about it. What I like is whatever needs to be there for money to come in for those.
Exactly.
No, that's why I don't really care if it's ugly, if it's pretty, as long as people see it and they're like, yeah, we're gonna buy this, and that's what I like. I don't actually know what that is, and I haven't figured that out yet because it's not in my wheelhouse. But I mean, it is. I just can't focus on that part of my wheelhouse that much because it's overdriven by something else that just has a higher desire.
Right. I got it. I'll do it.
So I think we talked about everything on my list. We did a team report. You guys always know if you need anything from me, you can always help me. We talked about I'm going on vacation, so I'm not really going to be available. I'll most likely be active in the group, but I'm leaving my wife and my project manager in charge in my stay in case I decide that I'm just going to fucking veg out on vacation and not actually do anything. If you guys want to try to arrange guest speakers and have guest speakers come in to talk to us as a group or as a team and help us in our own entrepreneurial journey with stuff like the one that I've arranged so far, it's Molly Mahoney, if you know who that is. So she does a lot of speaking. She has a coaching course for Facebook Lives and stuff, and being comfortable with that. So she's going to come in and actually, and obviously part of my goal is to get these influencers that have their own groups and stuff to be like, hey, why don't you come to my group and talk to them about what you do, so they can also get in and understand our core and our ethos and maybe convert into our group. And then take our group and Molly got 4,000 people that follow her. So if to us to be able to actually convert her and to get her to go out and promote us to an audience that she already built would be something that would be pretty easy. And if you guys did the same thing and were to be like, hey, you know, let's find this person, he's got a following, and let's try to work out an arrangement. Like, you think even some of these people, they got a coaching product, and they have several of their. They have a coaching project and they have a thing that they do that they talk about, and people pay them money for that, right? Even we could go in and offer some of this money that we were talking about with Eric. We could go in and actually offer some of this money that we have left over from the community, and we can say, hey, you're an influencer in this area and you train people and talk about things in this area for this amount, but let me give you $500 or let me give you $1,000, and you're going to come show up and do a 2-hour seminar with us and everybody in our group. And as you do that, we're also going to try to indoctrinate you and get you to see the vision of our group, so that you say, hey, well, I want to be a part of this too. So, and I can make money from this. So let me go now and share this to my other group of 4,000 people or 3,000 people. And we use the entry point to attracting those influencers as essentially paying them to some service or influencing them to come talk about themselves and promote themselves to our group audience. And the guys that they're going to get obviously a benefit from it. Like Molly's going to get a huge benefit to be able to, because I already told her, you know, I've got 160 people in this group that pay money to be there, and I want you to come in and talk to them about what you do and how they can get in your network and how you can actually help them and how they can, you know, be little streams of income for you now if you can actually convert them. So she got a motivation to come in and actually do that. So if we can use that pedestal and audience to get her to actually understand our group and the core of our group, and if she got into our group and started promoting our group to her group, how she could make all this residual commission. And you guys could understand that if you're the concerned party that actually went out and took charge and helped arrange getting that influencer to come in and talk and pitch their thing to us and help us, and then they ended up converting on our group, which then promoted it to their group and brought in a bunch of users, you would be the referring commission on that. Essentially the second tier, the top tier of that, essentially you call it a super affiliate that just put in 100 users that you're getting paid $17 a month, let's say, on those 100 users, because that influencer came in, they talked to us for 2 hours, and because of that, you know, maybe we paid them or just promised them to the audience. Because of that, they actually now have the time to say, hey, well, let's find out about this group and what they're doing. Oh, hey, I like that. That would be awesome. This is a good idea. Let me promote it to my people because they could use this software. Now, instantly 100 sales. Bam, from that effort, you're making $1,700 a month, right? That's kind of my plan with Molly. So if my kind of plan with her is get her now to spend time with us. And now she's going to appear for a 2-hour guest session. So I can introduce her, and while I introduce her, I can also indoctrinate her and introduce her to our ethos and what we're actually doing, and she's more apt to take the time to listen, because she got to take the time to listen, because until I get done fucking speaking and introducing her, she don't get to fucking talk and give her pitch to our captive audience here. So it's like a forced marketing that we can do to these influencers. And to me, it's nothing to me. Like, you take somebody like Ernie Giske, right? He got 50,000 people. If there's a 50% or let's say a 10% probability that we think if we do that with him and we offer him, let's say $500 or $700 to come in, or $1,000 to come in and spend 2 hours or 3 hours of his time giving a condensed course to us and mastermind to us that he can then use as a pitching selling point to now sell to our 160 people that we can already prove are paying $97 a month, and he can get additional revenue from them. And then we just force him to listen for fucking 30 minutes about the tier 5 ethos and make him fall in love with it. And he's like, fuck yeah, I take this to my 50,000 members and I sell this to, 500 of them. And now instantly I'm making another $2,500 a month from that, right? He'd be making essentially $25,000 a month from that, right? If he got 500 at $50 a month. So now I got an extra $25,000. Now what's that do to you? As a master, as a dude that just recruited that person. So I would be totally for it if those are the chances. Like, I got an extra $1,000 because you guys the community members are paying it. So I can use that. I don't have any problem using that as an incentive. So if somebody as a leader comes in and says, hey, we can work this out and we think this was a good plan, I'm open to those things. So that's kind of what I'm doing with Molly. And you guys are free to do that as well. Child sponsor program, you guys said that you guys thought it was a good idea, I think. I literally went through everything that I had for an agenda on this meeting. I never really have any. My agendas are pseudo agendas that are just fillers in case there's not enough time in the reporting time of you guys to create the arbitrage that I've told all you guys that part of this meeting is an arbitrage, to just have a time expenditure so that you guys always value your memberships and it becomes sticky and you guys want to keep paying them. But I'm gonna use it to my advantage. If I can get your help, I definitely want your help. So the time is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, John. I'm going to bow out so I can finish my website.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, everyone. Have a great day.
See ya.
See you later.
Anything else that you guys want to talk about while we're here? Or are you guys all good too and want to bounce out?
I think I'm good. I got to roll.
All right. Cool. Thanks for coming, David.
Thanks, man. I'll talk to you in the groups and next week.
Yeah. See ya. What about you, Ken, Eric, Jane? You guys want to bounce out, or you guys still have stuff you want to talk about?
John, you should come to Michigan on your trip.
What's the pot scene like? Oh, fuck yeah, you got a fucking pot dispensary, right, Jane?
Yeah.
No, seriously, you got a pot dispensary. Yeah, I'm telling you.
In a doctor's office, in a garden.
So let me pee real quick because I really got to pee again. But yeah, I'll totally plan that because you were on my list. I even said, hey, I got a pot person.
I was on the swing and I was like going this way and I like hit this pole.
What? Sophie.
No, I will totally plan that, James. So I'm totally down for that. So you're one of the people I actually wanted to go see because I know you got that dispensary there, and that's part of what I'm doing in the U.S. is while I'm on vacation, I'm just specifically going to places that are 420 friendly there, just hanging out. Because that would be another one. You can understand that would be another one of my really core things that I would love to do, which is be just actually help marijuana facilitators in technology. Like that, a perfect client to me would be a fucking pot industry that wants to build some mobile application or some software, and they're like a pot company.
Yeah.
That's like a perfect client.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, we're doing. I've got a dispensary too, but I've got partners, my husband and another guy, and I'm just the girl that does all the work. You know, they run around with the egos and don't even go to work. So, and it's just one of those scenes. So anyway, I've got that and the doctor's office, and we're trying to get a grow together right now. So, but I want to do something outside of them and what they're doing and try to launch my own thing too. So, and I thought maybe I could incorporate some of this stuff with that. So I've got a lot of thoughts. They do this thing called weed maps. And, you know, it's like you just type in the town, you find out exactly, you know, where the places are and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really know what I can do, but.
Well, when it comes to software, really all you have to be able to do is have a vision on what you want to think about, and be able to paint a story, and we can manage everything on the software. So like part of what I wanted to do, and that's it's been something that's been on my mind for a long time. I just haven't had the time to be able to dedicate to do it. Is we kind of coincides with what you just said. Was essentially like for Amsterdam, let's say, go in and actually create like a little application where you can go in and see every place that you can get weed in a location, like every place that you can go buy it, and then just have like a stoner map that you can go in and check off. Hey, I went there and tried that out. I went there. Like if you go to Amsterdam for the first time, you think like the stoner's journey, first time in Amsterdam. That dude is awesome to him if he could just go through and go to every place he can get weed and sit down. That would be an adventure for him. Like, what am I going to do on my vacation? I'm going to download this app and go to every place and sit there and smoke at least one joint at every place I can. And then just have like a map. He goes in and have an app that he downloads, and it puts him on the place, and it puts all the pot places on the place, and then it shows him which ones he's been to, and maybe we apply some logic and say, hey, we know you're a stoner, you don't really care, but tell us some of your interests, and we'll plot the shortest path for you to go get high, then go see your interests, go see some shit that you want to do, then go get high again, go see some more shit, and like we can essentially have a smart algorithm that says, okay, you want to do all these things, you like these foods, and you like to smoke weed, so you need to go here, get weed, then you're going to go here, get food, then you're going to go here, smoke weed, then you're going to go see, you know, this thing, then from there you can smoke some more weed, from here you can go see this other thing, then you can go smoke more weed, then you can go fucking get some more food. I just map it all out for you, and you literally do nothing but walk around and like look at your phone, and you're like, okay, weed run, get your weed, smoke one, take some weed with you, smoke on the way to go to your next little location that's plotted out on the map for you. And then maybe incorporate some little app where it's like, hey, as you're doing this journey, here's a way for you to easily to document this and stream it to Facebook, so you can create some awesome content at the same time that you're navigating the map. So like if we could figure out an embedded Facebook Live, because you think right now that, and that's another thing that I would like to build in technology, is right now in Facebook or live streaming, you don't have any real way on a mobile device to live stream and still use your device, right? You live stream, and as you live stream, if you get out of the app, like if you get out of the YouTube app or if you get out of the Facebook app, your live stream pauses. You can't minimize that and still be streaming and see what your stream's doing, or you know, share your screen on your live stream from your mobile. So to have an app where you can be like, hey, I need to see all my pot map at the same time I'm gonna be streaming live on Facebook, and that little live is gonna be happening inside that application, where I can still be navigating my phone while I'm live and create just awesome streams of content. I mean, tell me what pot lover wouldn't fucking love that, and tell me how I could monetize it by going to each of those dispensaries saying, hey, look, you're going to fucking pay me money, or whenever I'm sending this pot smoker to every fucking weed place, your place ain't there, and your place is going to be the only place that he don't fucking show up to get a fucking joint, because I ain't going to plot the shit for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to do that. And you can link it with travel industry. So somehow, like, because you're going to stay there, you're going to stay in the hotel there too. You map out their whole trip. You could add that whole.
And that pot dude, that's a perfect dude for me because that dude ain't gonna go do his own research and plan out his own trip. So if I pre-plan it for him and just say, hey, here's a hotel you want to stay at, got that covered. Here's your pot places. Here's your food places. I tell that food place, look, I'm gonna deliver customer to you. You're gonna give me $1 for or €1 for every single dude I deliver to you because he's gonna have an average spend of fucking 10 euros in your place. And how do I know that? Because he high as fuck. I just got him high because I just sent him to the weed place and I got $1 when I sent him to the weed place.
Oh, look at your place. Wow, that's huge. And they'll buy that ad space. If you go to that restaurant and say, hey, pay me a certain amount, I'll refer you every time. They're going to do it. We do it.
I don't have to ask them for money. I can just say, hey, I'm putting you in here. I'm going to send you people. These people are going to come. They're going to show you this thing because they're here where you're going to give them a pseudo discount. Let's give them a pseudo discount. Which just means when I advertise your prices, I'm going to advertise them at an inflation so that whenever my dude gets there and shows you a thing, he can get your list prices, which are what you already want, and he gets a perceived discount. And now you can track the people that I'm sending you. And now if they send you 100 people, I can be like, look, dude, those people now cost you money outside that inflation. So you can create another inflation if you want. And you wanted $5 for your joint. So in my system, I showed $7 and you get a $2 discount. So now if you want, I can inflate to 10 in my system and say that you get a $2 discount and pay $8 and you have to pay me $3 a person because I'm going to charge you $3. You still get the 5 that you want and he gets a discount. I get my 3.
They're going to
work that out, especially, so I'm totally down for that. So I will put it on my calendar.
You know what it goes for right now? We've got, with Weed Maps, we've got 2 dispensaries. My partner's got one on his own. So the one that he has, he's guaranteed to show up on the first page no matter what. He's got a star next to his name. So every time they go search dispensary Flint, his comes up as 2,500. And then a month, 2,500 a month just to have that spot and that star. Like me, I can't even get that star because it's reserved for the first 5 people that got them like 10 years ago. So I can't even get one. Mine costs $420 a month, and I'm just lucky to have a listing.
That's a good price, man. That's an awesome price point. $420 a month. We'll fucking advertise your dispensary to our list of active users that wanna smoke it. So it's great.
It's the modern day backpack.
Is it? So in Michigan, is it recreational there?
No, it's going on the ballot in the fall. It will be after the fall. It's their third try.
The bigger market is going to be where it's recreational at because that's where the tourist people are going to come just to go to that place.
Like Colorado.
Obviously, where it's medicinal, you're still going to have people that are there smoking because medicinal makes it so easy. You just go to a doctor and they're like, yeah. So you can say essentially they just qualify you that you can smoke weed. They're just like, yeah, you don't have that many mental issues, and there's some pseudo reason that we can say you might get a benefit if you smoke weed. And if you give us some money, because you just have to pay that license fee. You have to pay a license fee, right, to get to the doctor to get that.
It's $100 at the doctor's office, and I have to pay the doctor $50. So it's a 50-50 cut for everything at the doctor's office. We got about 5,000 patients now that come back. They have to come in once a year.
It would be perfect for us to. So yeah, I'm totally down to come meet up. It'd be perfect for us to be able to work out something like this where we could start, because if you've got, I can't say that you're necessarily an expert in that space, but you could be considered an expert. I mean, you're much more expert than other people who don't have a dispensary and they're out there fucking growing and selling.
I've been doing it for 8 years. I'm just not an expert in the online market of it.
So you should definitely be an expert there where we can go in and improve that model, apply some resources, prove that model. I love to do that in Amsterdam. In Amsterdam, I think it would be awesome. Or like what I'm going in Denver. I mean, it's recreational there. That would be an awesome place for that same type of app where I'm just like, look, you dudes come in. Here's some discounts. Here's your weeds, where you can get your weeds. Here's places where it's friendly to smoke and stay at. Hotels. Here's places you go eat at. Here's everything you need. You don't even have to make decisions. You just follow this line, and I'll get you high and make sure you get home at night.
Just like you're doing your vacation, you're kind of streamlining your vacation. Everybody, back in the day, any day, I would have killed for a vacation that was streamlined along that path, you know?
Yeah, where you don't have minimal effort. I mean, that body, how much time he really going to spend planning his shit? Not that much. He's going to start to plan it, and he's going to be like, well, let me get high. And then he's going to get high and fucking pretend that he's going to Disney World instead of going to where he's actually going because he's high and he ain't going to get much planned. It's literally like a perfect model, like a completely ideal client. So yeah, I love it like that.
I love it. That's incredible.
But I don't have any real plans. So you are one of the people that I thought about because you have that dispensary, and I know I could go with you. I could go hang out and meet you, and I'm almost certain that you could just deliver me weed, and I can hang out in your pot garden. To me, that's a perfect live video to be able to go be like, hey, here's a fucking pot garden. It's illegal. It's a legal one. Like laws are allowing this to be here. Here's some fucking weed. We're gonna smoke it. Ain't nothing you fuckers can do because this shit's legal by these dudes. So if you don't like it, then that's not my problem.
Right.
I'm totally down.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, hey, I'm here.
So you're in Michigan. You're in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, let me think something. I'm going up to Mackinac Island for a weekend somewhere in here. Let me look at my calendar real quick. That's not till August 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm going to be right here in Michigan until August 3rd or 4th.
And you're in Flint?
Yeah. And you know what? The Flint is so sad here. The water's polluted. They got bad water here.
Yeah, I know.
And it's our own government crap doing it. It's really sad.
It's all over the news. So I know the water sucks over there, but I'm sure I can get bottled water and shit, and you guys are still alive.
Yeah, I'm in Swartz Creek. It's all good, but I'm just saying,
where would I fly into? Like, where would be the connecting airport there that I fly into?
There's an airport right here in town in Flint or Detroit, either one.
Okay, and you can arrange to get me picked up, and either I can stay with you or I can stay. I'll find some hotel because one, I don't have a driver's license because I don't live in the U.S. and because I got so many DUIs before I left the U.S. I haven't actually taken care of that. So like what I'll do is I'll
drive you around.
Yeah, well, I'm planning on either landing at the airport and booking a cab or having whoever I'm going to meet there come pick me up from the airport and drop me off. Either I'll stay with them if they're comfortable with that. If not, I'll stay in a hotel. I have no problem with hotels and shit. And then just for the most part, just hang out with them until I hop a plane and go to the next place. Because I don't have any plan other than just fucking off. I was going to go hang out with my mom and dad and see my kids and stuff, but my dad told me I'm not welcome at their house anymore because he didn't like one of my live videos because I said I had an abusive father, which I did, and he didn't like that being on the internet or some shit like that. And he had whatever. So
where's your family?
What's that?
They're around here.
No, they live in Florida.
Where are you from?
They live in Florida. They live in Florida. So I was originally. That's why you would fly into. That's why I'm flying into Tampa because I was actually flying in. I was going to stay with my mom and dad for like 2 weeks and then go out to Denver. And then go out to Amsterdam. But then my dad said, hey, I can't, he don't ever want to see me again because of my Facebook videos. So I switched my plans and I'm going to fly into Tampa and then hang out for like a day in Tampa and then just get another connecting flight and then go out to Denver and hang out for a little bit and then just figure out. And the U.S. is I can get a connecting flight pretty much anywhere from anywhere in the U.S. for like $200 maximum, right? So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's in Flint. Go to Flint.
Okay.
That's the best town. It's a big airport. And if for any reason you can't get into Flint, go to Detroit. Okay. It's only an hour away. I'll cruise and pick you up, no problem.
So I would be good literally anywhere the week of the 15th or the week of the 22nd.
Okay.
So is there any time in particular there that you don't have any real obligations that you can just be like, hey, here's some fuck off time. Let's fuck off, brainstorm, hang out, get high, do whatever, make some social videos or something, do an interview. And
that would be fine. Either week would be fine. The only thing I got going on, John, is I'm in the middle of this state application for our dispensary. They finally are issuing a state license, and my partners have put me as point person with the state. So anytime I have to communicate anything it's just an email or throwing it's 90% done and already sent to them, but now they're doing follow-up punch list stuff. So that's like my most critical thing. I do payroll for our business once a week,
Are there days for you that are less busy than other days where you can be like, hey, typically on these days I don't have anything to do?
Yeah, I could take like the whole like the weekend, like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay, so if I just planned on either the weekend of the 20th or the weekend of the 20th, I would say the weekend of the 20th probably would be the best weekend then because I'm gonna on the 20th.
That'd be perfect.
and flying, so I can just plan for that. I'll probably on Monday I'll keep you updated, but probably on probably on Friday, Thursday or Friday, like the 19th or 20th, I'll land in Flint. I'll go there and I'll stay for like a day or two and just hang out, meet up. Fucking definitely get high, smoke some weed, hopefully check out your shit and see what you got going on over there.
I'm gonna brainstorm what you were just talking about, man. That's an incredible idea. That needs to happen.
Oh,
Quit. That's a good one.
I mean,
you could do
just
that
imagine,
here.
imagine the selling process of that, right? That's the beauty for me, like the selling process. Like, I would totally fucking volunteer to be that sales dude just to fucking go to Amsterdam, or any place that pot's really like recreational legal, and just walk around with an application and like have a little bit of budget to be able to go in there first and get an audience as a customer, right? And be like, hey, I want to buy some of your fucking weed. How much is your weed and shit? Give me some of that. I'm gonna smoke it. After I smoke a little bit, be like, oh, hey, by the way, I got this app. Here's what we do. We'll list we'll go in and easily allow you to list all your menu here and shit. We'll send you traffic and stuff. Like, hey, do you want to sign up? Here's the terms. And he's like, fuck yeah, I do. Or he's like, no, I don't. If he's like, no, I don't, I'll be like, well, I'm prepared to give you I need another ounce of weed, so let me sit here and smoke that. And then because that dude, I'll sell that dude. Why? Because every time he tells me no, I'll just buy some more shit from him and be like, okay, well, give me some more weed. I'm gonna sit here and smoke it. And then as I'm smoking it, I'm gonna explain my shit to you some more. And you keep saying no, all right, keep giving. Eventually that dude's gonna be like, all right, this is it. Fuck yeah, I want to do this. Because he's been my audience long enough, because I could be like, hey, like right now, like you see this moment, I'm getting high. Like you see this moment, you don't have no new traffic in your door. Like I got a piece right here. You want me to send them to you? I'll send you this guy. But you got to get on this contract. So that would be awesome sales role. You just go around to pot shops and smoke and network with the owners and awesome.
And they can't advertise on we can't advertise on Facebook, and we can have a business page, but we can't run ads to it. We can't even say the word cannabis, or they shut it down. So and then we can't run AdWords, Google AdWords, or anything like that. So we're always looking for something to advertise, because we want more business. We have to advertise to our local people, and we've got a magazine.
You can advertise it for app installs though. So you can essentially, through Facebook, you can run ads that don't mention cannabis and give like you can say, hey, you guys, it's 420. Don't you love 420? Come check out our new app for all your 420 needs. Something like that. You could probably slide by Facebook to some extent and do app installs and get users and advertise to get them to actually install the app and start finding the actual users.
Right. Just use a different word. I've always been afraid, because if they shut my ad account down, then I couldn't run Facebook ads for anything, because they're all in that same account.
Well, you can just create another account. That's what I would do. Create another account. I mean, just open up another profile, create another ad account, and then if they shut it down, then they shut down your second account, and you just go back to your first account for normal shit that you need, and create a second account for a new account for bot activity. But I think they'll warn you. I think they'll really warn you before they actually. Okay. I don't think they'll actually just shut if you're giving them money, I don't think they're just going to shut you down completely and be like, you can't give us money anymore. I think they're going to first be like, hey.
They'll shut you down. I spent $30,000 in Facebook ads over the span of about 2 years, and they shut it down without warning.
With no warning? Well, that shit.
Yeah. That's no warning. The ad just and you don't even get like an email that says it happens. You're just like, hey, why are my ads not getting clicks anymore? Why did my traffic stop? And you log into your account, and it goes, oh, your account's suspended. Oh, thank you. That was great. That's exactly what they do.
That sucks, but the advertising for that, I think even outside of Facebook, I mean, you'll be able to do even you get that dispensary owner and that fucking that coffee shop on the hook for advertising. They're most likely going to put a QR code right on there. They're going to do advertising for you as well to bring in your app users right there and tell people, hey, you can also find us here on this app store.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that there's other ad channels that are not really exploited very much. One of the newer ones is Quora. There's Pinterest advertising. There's also one that I didn't even know about until a couple of weeks ago. Stack Overflow has their own advertising platform that you can run ads on. And they don't really have any rules, because it's like a pretty new ad platform. I bet you can buy ads really freaking cheap and pretty much pitch to anybody. I have not used it, but nor do I know anybody else who has. That's why I think it's pretty darn cheap, and it's also really new, and they probably don't know what the hell they're doing. And so that might be a great place to get a bunch of really low cost clicks.
That would be almost perfect too. Like the first ever community-owned software firm that specifically focuses and specializes in creating advanced technology to boost the cannabis industry. And all our target audience that we run ads to are essentially programmers that are on Stack Overflow that are fucking weed smokers. So like we flirt with fucking programmers that are pot smokers, and we specialize in building software tools for fucking weed dispensaries. Perfect. I mean, I'm down. I'm totally sold.
I think it's great. Totally.
So yeah,
well, it's a big market. It's huge.
You can pencil me in. You can just I'll make sure that I keep a note of that. I will let you know I am real sporadic and things might actually change, but I will make sure that while I'm in the US, I come and see you and hang out, smoke some of your weed. And
oh, good. All right.
And
my daughter's over.
I was gonna say my life is a little bit less exciting than that, but I'm in St. Louis. If you want to make a stop by St. Louis, which is not that far from Flint by air.
Oh, okay. So cool. That's in Michigan as well. Shit. No, that's not in Michigan. That's in.
It's down the Mississippi. We're on the Missouri-Illinois border.
Okay. What's the pot scene like there? Just completely illegal?
Well, yeah, currently that's one of the things that's on the ballot for this, for this election cycle. But yeah, at this point, it's not legal.
That sucks. I can still make time to go there, but most of my roaming, I'm going to try to keep it. If it's not super like hyper productive, I'm going to try to keep it distributed only to places where I can, to some extent, through some point, get some that I can smoke weed and not be supervised by the local law authority.
Absolutely, because I'm not going to be offended. It does not bother me. It does not bother me at all. But if you're in the neighborhood, that's where I am.
Yeah, that's totally doable too, because it's really, really close, and I don't have to smoke weed all day every day. No, typically.
Awesome.
So Ken, what's up with you? I haven't heard anything from you this whole call. Are you dead, man, or are you there? What's up?
That sounds like a yes.
He said look into Messenger QR affiliate links. I don't ever actually even look at the chat in these meetings, to be honest. I don't ever really read the chat in meetings. So you're interested, Eric, for RoboContact to be the product owner of that?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think RoboContact's going to be really cool. There's a lot of synergies with things that we'd be able to do there. One of the things I wanted to ask earlier that I totally got sidetracked on with any of the apps. Currently, do you have an API that you can actually do signups externally on, that we can actually build our own landing pages and just do a sign up?
They all have them. So every software that we has an API. It has, so all our softwares have essentially, that's how I do them all in the chatbot, is they have an add user, delete user, and a suspend user.
What about the subscription? Where's the billing handled? Is that in the app as well?
What about what?
The billing.
The billing. The billing, so only RoboContact has I think I have to go in and actually double check. Maybe Text in Bulk or maybe Invoicing You. I can't remember if that has actual membership levels, and I'm just not aware of it because I'm automatically inherited on the higher one. But all the apps handle billing, but with webhook integrations for creating users, those people don't actually need any billing. So it's handled on, let's say, the lander side.
Okay, so but as far as recurring billing, so if we're gonna build our own landers and be able to do external signups and then API calls to create those users, we would own the recurring subscriptions for those users, right? Because if you don't have a way to handle that, that's us.
You could, yes. So you could definitely you could own that, and that
Okay.
you could own that and then pay us a monthly fee on it, or we could set up kind of like I told you I did with somebody else, where we set up a shared Stripe account, and then you would connect that share. We'd give you access to that shared Stripe account,
Right.
and then you connect that to your front end, and then from the front end, you just essentially hit endpoints to us.
Oh, that's cool.
Users or delete them or suspend
No.
them.
Yeah, I think that's no. I mean, I think that's totally doable. I'm actually running ChargeBee right now for recurring billing on the back end for another business unit, and ChargeBee is awesome because they've got a bunch of robust APIs and they've got their own. They actually have their own membership. Basically their own customer platform. You can create customers in there. You can create subscriptions. It handles all of the billing. They store the payment details with multiple payment gateways and all of that shit. It's really cool. And so you can basically just build a lander that fires off into ChargeBee that actually makes that payment and then keeps that active membership. And then from there, after you've got a successful charge and go say, yep, we have an active subscription, fire that off into whatever respective app to create that user. So that's one of the things I'm actually getting wired up right now, so we can actually automate that process because we've been doing it manually. Which sucks, but no, I think that could be pretty cool because if we do that, we can basically kind of do our own thing, and start getting people set up and not have to worry about passing credit card details over because that can get to be a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to. Essentially, we're completely set up and have endpoints where you can just hit. That's how I do it with my Link Wizard landing page.
Right.
You on Link Wizard and you fill out my little lander on ClickFunnels, and then from there I just hit an endpoint in Link Wizard and say, hey, can you user for me? That's how I do it in the chatbot. The chatbot just fires off the endpoints for if I like in the chatbot when somebody pays, I literally go into the chatbot and type add user and then give the email address, and then the chatbot gets all the endpoints to all the different software to create a user account.
No, I mean the adding of the users. That's the trivial part. I'm just thinking about how to actually orchestrate that recurring billing. I know that makes sense.
Well, the billing you can essentially, as a reseller, the billing you can essentially totally manage on your side, and then what we would do in that endpoint, you'd pass us a token, an auth token, and then we do accounting with that auth token. We go in and say, hey, here's all the users that are currently active with this auth token. Here's what you owe us.
Totally, yeah, that's totally doable, and then it's on us to make sure that we are canceling accounts in the event that subscription lapses or somebody cancels or whatever, and as long as that's happening, we should be good to go. Where do we find the API docs on the apps to see what else they can do? Do you not have any?
You don't, because there's no API docs, because none of our apps have a public API. The only APIs that they have are the actual the managing of users that we've built. So there's not API docs on it. I can give you the info on how like if you need that integration to actually create them, I'll give you that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you're actually gonna the API you're gonna hit.
Yeah, I mean what's that?
I said other than those creating and deleting and suspending and unsuspending users, we don't have any public API that can be hit. We can do it relatively easy, but we just don't have them right now.
Yeah. And that's cool if we can just work with that for now, because I mean that's really all that we need to actually be able to get off the ground. I mean, I think long term it'd be really cool to be able to do a lot of API orchestration to remotely invoke campaigns and stuff like that. That could be really cool without having to worry about Zapier. But in the
that's
short
one of
term,
the things that we would want. That's one of the things that really I'd hope a particular product owner would be able to easily identify and see in a platform, where one of the things that we would want to do to any platform is upgrade them to an extent where what we do is we completely decouple the front end from the back end API, so that it's very, very easy to offer a white labeled solution, because you're just white labeling the front end that all just hits our back end APIs, where then we can have our own brand with a public API, and then we can very easily deploy, completely purely white labeled versions of stuff, because it's just a front end app that's all calling the same back end.
Right. Very cool.
But yeah, those APIs exist. So, and we're getting closer every day. We're getting closer every day to being a real actual to being a real community funded company. it's getting excited. It's really getting excited.
Well,
I'm gonna be excited in like another 3 months.
Well, the cool thing about it is that we already have a lot, not everything, but we already have outbound prospecting tools, right? So this should make our general process quite a bit easier than a lot of other companies are going to have, because most SaaSes don't have huge lead lists. They don't have mass mailing tools or mass communication tools, and so that's one of the things that we do have. That we if we actually leverage those tools, then we should be able to get a lot of software subscribers. Start using that to get a lot of traction. One of the things that I was just thinking about like yesterday that we should probably do is that video that you put out, what was it, like a week ago, where you did the little live video showing how to integrate RoboContact and text in bulk. We should just take that video and put that on a sales page, just literally. And show people, because we're not trying to sell the membership. What we're trying to do is sell the freaking software. The software, look at this freaking software, right? And obviously you're not showing everything. You don't need to be showing everything. You're showing enough to get that person, interested enough to sign up for a trial.
Sure, you don't want to show everything. Like what should really be on the landers, and I haven't created them. I know it should kind of be there, but I haven't created. It's like for text in bulk, essentially, what should be on that landers? Let's say target one specific thing, like to go in and do these hyper target 3 lead searches, right? Like run this lead search, run this lead search, run this lead search, get all this results. If you could do that, would that be worth $97 a month to you? If so, great. You want to get this. Now, after I just sold you on that, here's all the other shit that you could also do. To reinforce that, yes, I just sold you. But yeah, you're right. We should totally do that to some extent, is go in and actually to be honest, I don't think that any of the dude doing the demos or the dude being in the front face, in the real public eye should ever be me. It should be other people. Like, I don't really want it to be me, and it shouldn't be me. And really, for it to be me, for the most part, is going to be counterproductive, because I say fuck a lot and I just don't care about shit a lot of times. So it should be somebody else. Have spokespeople that are actually creating that content instead of.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, though. That's the cool shit. And what we should probably do overall is just make sure that we've got some video personalities that are able to kind of go through those sales pages. They don't have to be super long. They don't have to be hour-long webinars. But if we could do a 5 to 10 minute long product demo on a sales page, and actually have a really targeted use case, just a really well done video. I think those things would help a lot, right? Because all of the super high converting, ClickFunnels, funnel type pages, that's exactly how they convert, right? They've just got little explainer videos on sales pages, and that's their mantra, right?
No, I agree. So I totally agree there. I haven't personally just been able to actually really go in and create that. I've had the time. I just have been lazy to go in and do it. So I agree. Something that like that needs to be there. I was just hoping that a more camera-friendly, marketing-friendly person would go in and actually do that. And
bingo, yeah. Cool.
But I will guarantee you that eventually I will make it, or someone else will actually do it. So you've already identified that could be a good thing. So it's something that you could totally do. Somebody else might identify it. They might do it. If not, eventually I will do all this stuff. That's why I was saying the 5 to 7 months that I've budgeted is allotting for me to focus on doing the stuff and actually doing it all myself, and not relying on anybody else doing the other stuff. It accounts for the fact that I've got a team, like a group of people that can be telling me what needs to be done, and instead of relying on them to do it, eventually I go in and actually do it. And that may or may not be the case. Either I'm going to do it or somebody else is going to do it. So I'm not going to do it today. I can tell you that for a fact. I'm definitely not going to do it today. I'm most likely not going to do it before August, because I'm about to, I'm pretty much done. Like, I've got Monday the client day. Tuesday I'm getting on an airplane, and then I'm not coming back until August. And for the most part, I'm going to do some social media stuff, like some be live and like still have a relevancy and a persona. But for the most part, I'm in rest mode, because I work 20 hours a day for 6 months straight. So I'm kind of like, hey, this is my break time for a little bit. So
you're going to be asleep for the next month?
Not asleep, but I am going to sleep a lot, because I don't get to sleep a lot. I am going to sleep a lot, and I'm just going to try to, enjoy and try to get most things off my mind, other than trying to think of what new ideals can I actually spark. What, once I actually get back and clock back in, what should be my major focuses? What should I really be doing? Because that's how I built this company, is essentially 6 months at a time. I've came over and said, hey, here's all the things I need to do. Oh, I got to go on a visa run. Well, let me just hang out and not worry about shit and think and focus and plan out what do I need to try to accomplish in the next 6 months. And I've done that. And that's how I built it. And that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go, like, most of what I'm gonna do is not so much work other than what I absolutely have to do, and just planning out and thinking to myself, like, what can I do? So I do envision a lot of it's gonna be time with the actual community, because that's where I'm really focused at now. But for the most part, yeah, it's gonna be this right here for the most part. Because if you were an avid pot smoker and if you really loved weed, like for me, marijuana is even without smoking it, the plant itself is just it's like prettier than a flower. Like if you look at the flower and then also look at the little bud and the little seed system that is that little flower, it's beautiful. It's really a beautiful thing. And then if you do venture out and say, well, I think I'll try to burn that and inhale that and see what happens when I do that, it's really awesome. And if you're an avidist and exploring just that, and then you come over here and you got to smoke this, which is essentially, like, if you were to look at this, it's a sativa, and it's not that good. If you were to look at this quality of weed, you could clearly see that it's ugly. Like nobody has loved this weed, and it's just a wild thing. It's not well produced. It's not high quality weed. So when I get to a point where you can actually have, like, if you think what happens in what happens in this growery, right, and this actual farm, is people love that stuff, and they like literally experiment on that, and they actually make like super flowers that have like little superpowers. And it's like eating a hamburger at McDonald's versus going to like a steakhouse to get like a real burger, like a gourmet burger. So I need to break with McDonald's stuff for a while. But I think we're good here, right? My wife keeps coming in here and looking to see, like, hey, is he done yet? Let's go home. She's been nice enough to wait for me this whole time, and I think it's like 3:30, 4 a.m. It must be here on Friday night.
Oh my gosh! All right, John, get out of there. Thanks for everything.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys.
Yeah, love you guys. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions or need any issues, just post in the group. All right, I'll see you guys. Ken, thanks for coming, man, and doing whatever you've been doing while you're there. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, see you guys.